What?
And I'm going to give you one opportunity because we're friends.
Winner!
Who gives a shit about where the ball's been?
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I love it because it tells you how the game was played.
There's nowhere for him to go. I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team. Do I look like I'm freaking kidding?
He does things that are absolutely insane.
Successful and sexy? No. And was it aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
That's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever.
Yes, ain't this fresh? It's a weekly recap from We Are Soccer. Oh, Lord, friends. There's so much football to talk about. We got so much happening in the EPL. But yet, hold your horses. We usually open up with EPL. But we've got MLS news to talk about. We've got arguments happening in the room before the show started here. MLS rule changes. The MLS is out of the US Open Cup. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. Plus, there's a new Champions League format next season we'll chat about. Lots and lots to get to. And that's even before we've dove into Aston Villa going third, Liverpool, Manchester United, and some sad news down at Bournemouth with Luton, but we'll get to that. Lots to get to today. Again, not just me here. I'm your host, Craig Hearn, but I'm also joined by Mr. Nate Janulis. I pronounced your name wrong there. Danny Price and Brooks Lambier. Nate, Danny, how are you, boys? How's it going?
It's okay. I don't even know how to pronounce my last name.
This is true.
There's a seriousness here. There at a certain point it was Janulis, right? And because I was told it was Greek, but I'm not Greek.
You don't look Greek.
Don't look Greek.
When I went to Greece, everyone's like, "Oh, this is a Greek last name, like the actual Greek."
You look like a Greek goddess with your muscles.
I like how you said goddess.
Goddess.
that was backhanded.
Yeah.
And yes, I do have a sexy lady body. Thank you, Danny, for
You do.
But you can't spell Prince without a little Danny Price.
Danny, how are you?
I'm back.
Yeah, buddy. How are you? How was
Super
Florida?
Y.
Super Y, Florida was magical. Florida's a great place. Actually, the last few days was a bit Yankee, but it was good. It was good to be away.
Yankee.
Obviously, missed all the boys. I missed giving Brooks some shit. Missed staring into your beautiful nostrils. And
Yankee.
obviously, just, I'm not enjoying the run we're on right now because Villa haven't been beaten in like 6 games. So,
Yeah, buddy.
I haven't been able to give him any crap. So,
Villa is like the Stuttgart of the Premier League. Everyone's rooting for them.
No, I think they're more like the Bayern Leverkusen of the Premier League.
No, because Bayern Leverkusen's top of the table, unbeaten.
Well, I know everybody's rooting for them, though. Everybody wants to see that other team win it. No? Okay. We'll go with your thing. We'll go with your thing.
You go with my thing?
We'll go with your thing. It's fine.
Villa's not going to win it.
No, I know. Wait, you know what? Don't ruin it. Okay, I know, though. I know. All right.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they will. I don't know.
We'll get to it. I think I have a new perspective on it after this week. We'll talk about it, though. Who knows?
I think it's possible at this point.
Man City apparently don't want to win it. I mean,
they're done.
They're throwing things away.
Hey, maybe they got some more like $200 million in oil money to spend on players or whatever,
I know. That'll be their January window right there.
January window will be like everyone and their mom. I think my mom's now just signed for City.
Oh, yeah? Well.
Yeah, Darlene's out there playing for him.
Hey, she going to be the new left midfielder?
Yeah, left center back.
Oh, left center back. Oh, nice. All right. Brooks, how are you, buddy? We haven't said anything to you. How are you, bud? You were hard at work over there punching at the keyboard.
Yeah, sharing on social media and whatnot. So, yeah, anyone, Instagram, Twitter /X, Facebook. What else are we on, Craig?
Twitch,
Twitch, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yes, I'm hard at work, and I handle the social media during the show as we all respond to everyone's Facebook comments and YouTube comments as well. Yes, I've been really busy putting together this Midwest Pro Combine that my good friend Eric Rudlin started back in 2016. So we invite a bunch of college players in, and we get some MLS and USL clubs here in Brighton, Michigan at the Legacy Center for 2 days for some awesome fun and soccer, and it's a good time. And then, we got some youth players coming in this year. We have some pro guys coming in as well that, looking for other opportunities. So it'll be a good time on this Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll see how it goes.
You know, the
Nice.
purpose of the holder is to hold the mic.
It's too low for me.
It's
I need one that raises a little bit.
justice. Also, I've just noticed.
Are you wearing your own personalized Brooks T-shirt? there?
God, you cut me off. I was about to say, I do
He's
appreciate
wearing a T-shirt with his own name on it?
Yeah, the ego has grown.
Wow.
Wow. That's next level.
He's becoming a brand.
I already wore my lacrosse shirt on the first Sunday of the month, so I can't do it again.
Wow.
So
I think he's tired.
I'm trying to limit how much I upset both of you.
He's tired of living in our shadow. He's
Why don't we have shirts with our name
I
on?
know, right?
We can get you custom ones.
No, it's not the same.
Not the same.
Now I feel like I'm copying.
Oh, well.
We
All
need-
right,
we need
boys.
we need to get black T-shirts with white writing across the front of Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm good with that.
You know
I
what
like
mean?
Chandler and Joey.
Well,
Oh no, it's a
Chandler's
little-
dead now.
Yeah, Chandler's dead now.
I'm the dead one. Can I be the dead one?
You can be the devil.
Yeah, yeah, it lines up.
All right, boys, here we go. We're going to jump in. Lots of football to talk about. Actually, normally we talk about the EPL because it's the big weekend of games that happens. There was some massive games that happened this weekend, but maybe this trumps it. The MLS is now out of the U.S. Open Cup, one of the oldest competitions in the world. They are out of, and I tell you what, we found out that the U.S. Open Cup, the committee who puts everything together and organizes it, didn't actually know that the MLS was bailing on this until moments before the announcement. Very interesting. Excuse me. Been under the weather this week, if you couldn't tell. Really under the weather. All right, this is actually big news. The MLS is bailing out of the U.S. Open Cup, kind of. They're sending the MLS Next teams. Newly formed MLS Next, which has only been around for about 2 years, I
Next
believe.
Pro.
Next Pro.
Next Pro.
All right,
MLS
Pro.
Next is the youth.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
It's a one
No
word
one's
difference.
going to care. No one's going to care. I personally will not give a toss about the U.S. Open Cup because of this. The biggest teams, the best teams in America will not be playing. It's a shame. I think something has to do with it. Money, Apple, whoever became involved. Danny, I know you have some pretty good views on this. You did a little bit of research. Throw your thoughts out there, my friend. What is with the MLS dropping out of the U.S. Open Cup?
This is kind of like, if we talk about the MLS in terms of a serious competition, right, or a serious league, right, the MLS Open Cup, correct me if I'm wrong, and I might be completely wrong, but this is basically England's version of the FA Cup.
Yeah,
That's how I look at it.
It's the FA Cup, the DFB Pokal.
Yeah.
Many countries have something similar where it's an open competition where anyone can join.
For amateur teams to get through and to play these potentially play the pro teams.
Division
right?
2, Division 3. Yeah.
So
agreed.
So for them to pull out basically and say that okay, we're going to have our MLS Next Pro teams or Pro under 21s, under 23s, take the mantle of that MLS team and play in the competition to relieve fixture congestion, which we all know is basically MLS way of saying that the competition isn't important, in my mind. Anyway,
Agreed.
that's how I view it. And what to make such an announcement, to have these, why would you basically just turn around and say, okay, well we'll have an agreement to say that, no, we're not going to make a big announcement to say that we're going to pull out the competition and we're going to have our MLS Pro Next teams in there. Why wouldn't you give the MLS Pro Next players an opportunity to play in the first team in front of big crowds and just support them and funnel them through just like English clubs do?
Right. I
Or
mean,
the DF Pokal Cup.
right. I agree. Why did MLS have to make such a big stink about this? Why did they have to come out and release this huge statement, which again, the U.S. Open Cup committee had no idea about? They didn't realize what was happening until a few moments before the news dropped. It's bizarre. It's got to be money, right? It has to be Apple behind this.
It's not
because they didn't have the rights to broadcast this, and they don't want their stars getting into
So are we unaware of any sort of behind the doors change of anything that's coming MLS way in terms of league structure that's going to increase fixtures versus
Yeah. So it's all money related. This was Nate Janius's theory of why Messi wouldn't be playing in the Open Cup because the Open Cup is on ESPN Plus. The what is it? The MLS is on Apple, and the
Champions Cup.
Champions Cup, thank you, and is also on Apple. So they want to push the
Leagues Cup, my
Leagues
bad.
Cup, thank you. Sorry. They want to push the Leagues Cup as something bigger than what it is, and they want that revenue money. They don't want Messi and Suarez and Forsberg, whoever it is that they just signed and pushing out there, creating hype money and pushing any other network but their own. And it's sad, and I'll get it.
It is sad. You're
cut to
right.
Brooks, but I can get into why I'm completely disappointed with this whole thing in a minute.
All right, Brooks, your thoughts?
So at the end of the season, there were a lot of players that Andre Blake was one of them that was vocal on social media, and I think it's been a lot throughout the league that it's just too many games for them. And it's just they've with this Leagues Cup, with US Open Cup, playoffs, and if you're in you're in Champions League, which I think they call it the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
Champions,
Yeah. It's just for them, it's in that short amount of time, when you start in like February or March and you're going. So I think some of the players had a voice in this to say, hey, we want to cut back the games. And maybe that was the league's decision. Like, all right, like you really don't play any of your first team players until probably the Final Four. And unfortunately, the second division teams in USL, they've done really well in the competition, but I don't think they really give you a run, in the early rounds. So,
I'm gonna disagree a
argue with that.
little bit with you because I don't think the league gives a toss about the players and their opinions. Just like the EPL and the FA Cup don't give a toss about any of the players' opinions of there's too many games, right? We've heard it for years. Klopp and every manager that's come through the EPL has said too many games, too much, what's going on? And the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, the EPL, and everything else that goes on, they said, yeah, that's it. Sorry about it. We don't care. It's all about money. That's what it's about. Nate,
That's fair.
Nate, you were going to say
go ahead.
something?
So, I mean, I'm really disappointed in the whole thing. I'm really saddened that they did this. This is one of the oldest cups, the oldest competition actually in the United States.
Right.
And they did have first team players. I was there when Jesse Zardes was playing in Keyworth for Columbus, you know, and you do have first team players.
Adam Morris was playing too in that game.
Yeah, and it was an important cup, and then they replaced it with I'm sorry, it's garbage, but the garbage Leagues Cup.
Sure,
because it
'cause
is.
The Mexican
teams
teams
don't care.
they don't put all their best players in.
No, that's more of a. You want to put your MLS Next Pro teams against those guys? Go for it. Their travel for those Mexico teams was.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Atrocious.
Absurd, because the MLS clubs didn't even go down to Mexico,
Right.
which they need to change that format. If you're going to do that, you need to go down to Mexico and play.
So you replaced a 50-plus year long-standing competition where other teams, USL teams, have actually won it in the past, and you had different finals. You had good underdog stories. Was it 2 years ago? It was San Diego Republic that was
Sacramento, yeah.
Sacramento Republic.
Yeah, they got to the final. They lost to Orlando, but it was
a
good.
great game.
I think the last USL team to win was the Rochester Rhinos.
Right, but you still had good matchups down the stretch.
Yes.
This is MLS saying, we don't want to promote USL. This is MLS and Apple saying, we don't want this anyone else to make any money off this. This is them pushing USL out the door.
Yeah.
And it's sad because if I look at my own, the cup that I follow the most, the league I follow the most, Bundesliga, the Pokal. Right now in the last 6 of the last 8 teams, 4 of them are Division, or 5 of them are Division 2, 1's Division 3, and 2 are Division 1s. The last 4 teams are guaranteed to have Division 2 teams in there. Yep. And it's exciting to watch. It's exciting to see a Division 3 team knock out a Division 1 team. It's exciting to see a USL team knock out an MLS team. I mean, who doesn't love that as far as an underdog story? That's what this game is all about. Yeah. Big monster company coming in,
I absolutely agree.
Little firm knocking them out. And they're just killing it. They're just Americanizing everything, and it sucks.
So
100%.
I'm gonna look at this glass half full with this. Okay, I'm not gonna. Sorry.
How?
No, you will not.
How? I would love to know how, Brooks.
So for me,
Got it.
if MLS is gonna be preventative in growing the game, because everyone's at arms with each other with youth leagues, because you're in it with someone else that has the money, amateur leagues because you're in it with someone else that has the money, And same with all these professional leagues. Everyone's battling against each other to gain some ground. I think this is a wonderful opportunity for USL to go to US Soccer to go, hey, how can we grow the game more? How can we get more of our League One teams in there? How can we get some of these amateur leagues involved where we can have a prize and then we can make it more open to the amateur teams? A lot of them complain we don't have enough amateur teams in this. You have to, you got to go through all these rounds to qualify and everything. I think this could be a very opportunity that MLS wants to throw it away. USL, come on in and see what you can make of it.
I like that, actually. I think that's a great idea.
I appreciate your pessimism.
The only way to go, really.
I appreciate your pessimism, but it ain't going to work.
We still should be giving MLS the big middle finger, right? Because this is a big middle finger to soccer in
I'm
America,
sorry.
in my
Soccer
opinion.
nerds are cool with watching, some game played at a high school with some, Division II team or whatever. But your average fan, even Danny, who's not you're a soccer nerd, but not like a U.S. soccer nerd, you want to see a good product, right? With good play in a nice stadium that looks quality. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, absolutely, yeah, 100%.
So what's your interest in jabroni no name team playing Bob's your uncle at Northwest High School in front of 100 people?
I've got no problem with
You don't, but to them it's everything.
I've got
Who's them?
What if your team qualified for the Open Cup?
But no. It's if you're talking about generating.
What if your team did when you played?
Yeah, great. If you're talking about generating interest in something, that's what I'm talking about. You're like, hey, wouldn't it be great? Yeah, you know what? Any player. I'm not bagging the players, Brooks. You're not misunderstanding what I'm saying. No one's gonna fucking watch it. No one's gonna watch it.
I won't tune in.
I think the one thing this country has never done well is to grow it from the bottom up. And I think they've always gone top down, and I think that's been the wrong way to do it.
All right, hold on. Danny, you were going to say something. I want to finish your thoughts.
No, I've got no problem with clubs using youth players for competition, but just blend them in with first-team players to allow them the experience to play at a high level, because at the end of the day, that's the only measuring stick that these youth players actually have. These academy products actually have of playing at a decent level. And if you say that, that those players are not going to get the opportunity to play in the Leagues Cup or play in the MLS structure itself, then the Open Cup is the only way forward through it. If they basically turn around and say no first-team players are going to be allowed in the MLS Cup, then these boys are on their own.
Yeah, no, I completely
you
agree.
can bring
Might
down.
as well just call it the Under-23 Cup then at that point.
Right.
You can bring down guys to play in your MLS Next Pro team. You're allowed so many first-team players to come down and play with them. So you will have some technically.
Sure. Now, listen, I think this is a terrible decision by MLS. I think it's all based on money. I think Apple's pulling the strings behind the scenes. I think we can all agree with that. Brooks is looking at it half full. I agree, hey, that's a great opportunity for some of these teams, these youth, amateur, whatever teams.
USL to grow,
Excuse me. Hey, no one going to watch. No one's going to watch. No one's going to watch.
And I got to correct you. I think it's Apple and MLS because I don't think MLS is keen on sharing a spotlight with USL when a USL team goes into a final and competes with them.
There's no way.
They want to get
no
shown
way
up
is
across the
MLS
world.
want to get shown up. You're right.
Sure.
100%.
And it's very possible.
100%.
There's a few comments we have going here.
Oh,
So Alan M.
yes.
Swan, so as Danny alluded to, MLS is missing a huge opportunity to promote second teams and academy players. Sad. Scott Emmert. Hi, Scott.
Oh, geez, Scott.
I was a part of the old Bucks squad that brought Tampa Bay in here a while back. We beat a league Minnesota Thunder right before. Great experience. So, the Bucks have been, they beat the Fire. I remember watching when the Fire came here a few years back to Ultimate, and they beat them. I would like more amateur teams to get involved in this. Yeah, I feel like in Europe you have more of a chance to do that than you do in
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great that more amateur teams are going to get involved here. But again, like Nate said, no one's going to watch. It's not growing anything. We're not taking the casual fan, the guy who just watches his local MLS team. He's not tuning in to watch, as Nate said, Jabroni FC versus No Name United. It's not going to happen. We don't have an MLS team here. I'm not watching anybody from Kansas City's whatever league versus North Dakota's whatever league. I don't care. But if it's
that's the early rounds until they get to play the USL teams.
And then even at that point, no offense, I'm watching USL Championship because Detroit City's in it. I don't go really too much deeper than that personally.
If we just touch on the FA Cup just for a second,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's it's called a darling competition, right? It's the darling dream competition where you get a minnow versus a top tier team, and that team has to go against that group. So, whether it's a Bucks or whether it's a DCFC or whether it's another USL team, if they have the opportunity to go up against an MLS team, and beat them, and
that's the dream.
That's the dream, right there. They get gate receipts for it, or they get TV money, or all that sort of stuff. That's how it keeps those teams functioning. That's how it keeps those teams getting promoted because they're getting more money.
I'm gonna cut you off real quick. There was just a video of a 6th division team in France who is still in the Coupe de France, which is their U.S. Open Cup or FA Cup, and they got drawn out of the hat to play at PSG. They went absolutely ballistic when they saw their name came out of the hat, and then they had to play against Paris Saint-Germain at Parc de Paris at PSG because the gate receipts, the money that they're going to earn from that, as Danny said, that'll keep that club actually probably afloat for 2 years or more. It's exciting.
It's like when teams go to Old Trafford in the Premier League, or they go to another big attendance grapping stadium like Arsenal, 60,000, Liverpool now 60,000, Man City 60,000. Let's say a Tranmere Rovers or a Huddersfield Town go to Old Trafford to play. They get half the gate receipt. So if that's a 75,000 seater stadium, they're getting 32,500 seats worth of dollars, which is a couple million, which keeps them afloat out of administration and keeps them functioning for another year, two, maybe.
It is brilliant. Yeah, Nate, go for it.
I'll do you one better.
Yeah.
Sauerbraten.
Who dat?
Sauerbraten, Division 3 in the Pokal, in the Final 8, has hosted Munich.
Brilliant.
And beat them.
Yeah.
Then hosted Frankfurt and beat them.
Oh yeah, this year.
And now this year, and now is hosting Gladbach.
Wait, those 3 teams that they've beaten, those are as big as USL teams, right?
Oh, they're huge USL teams.
Yeah. See, but that's what it's about. That's what it's about. So, you know what, MLS, go F yourself. This is a horrible decision. It's based on money, and we all know it.
Just sad.
Got a comment.
Give me this comment, then we're gonna jump on to one other MLS thing, which I think is also gonna spark a lot of debate.
Mark Jarobi, MLS has got upstaged. MLS already got upstaged when their champion this season, so that'd be the Columbus Crew, were eliminated by the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the Cup competition. That's 100% a massive reason why MLS is pulling out.
Mark, well done. Yeah, good memory on that one.
And DCFC beat the Crew.
That's the beauty of the competition.
That's the beauty of it. Yeah.
Right?
But it's a closed franchise system, so they can do what they want, essentially. Yep. A big FU to U.S. Soccer from MLS. All right, MLS thinks they're so smart. They're pulling out of the U.S. Open Cup, but guess what else they've done? They've gone ahead and changed the rules. They've changed the rules of the game. 4 rules changes.
Are the penalty kicks going back to the old school?
Oh, God. Okay, so, all right, that's the one thing I wish they would do.
Yes.
I wish they'd bring back that old, old penalty
10 seconds
kicks.
to score. You run from half field.
All right, let's run through the changes MLS are bringing in for the upcoming season, 2024 season. Stadium clocks are going to run past 90 minutes. So, and all over the world, the clock stops at the end of the half at 45 minutes, and then the rest of the time is kept on the watch by the referee. That the time at the end of 90 is also then, it stops at 90 and kept by the referee on the watches. I believe that is still going to be the case, in my opinion. I think it is still going to be the case where the referee keeps the official time and he can stop and add more time. But we are now going to know in the stadium that it is now the 91st, the 92nd, the 93rd, and so on. I personally do not have an issue with this rule change. Anybody care?
No.
Doesn't matter, right?
No.
All right, moving on. Great. Referees will make in-stadium announcements for VAR decisions. Kind of like this one, actually.
I thought it was. I remember a couple of months ago when we had after the Women's World Cup, and we sat here and we debated it, and I went through it, and I watched the England-Spain final where the female referee, she stopped it for a penalty in the box, and she went through the VAR stadium announcement in the stadium, and I thought it was really cool. I really did. I thought it was cool.
I think it's a great. It puts not a pressure, but it holds the referee and VAR accountable. That this is what we're doing, and this is why, and this is what we're seeing.
It's only productive, and it's only good if they deem VAR that the referee has missed a clear and obvious error, that the referee holds his hand up in the stadium to the fans and says, VAR, I made a mistake.
Yep.
Goal
And essentially,
stands,
they'll have to,
you know,
right?
et cetera.
If
Yeah.
they're called and to
Absolutely.
change it. So, Nate, you were going to oppose that?
Not opposed. I just don't care. Just let refs ref.
Okay.
And
No,
then,
yeah, I
and then
agree.
they want to say whatever they want to say and explain. Fantastic. I'm sick of the
Yeah.
third party sitting in Timbuktu, 50 miles away, giving their opinion. Just let them do their job.
Yep.
If they need to explain something, or rather just explain it after the match, like if they need, like, you can see like the notes of why the referee
Well-
made the decision, then that's fine. Or there's a video, that's fine. They don't have to stop in the game and let it,
I
let it
get
keep
that,
going.
but I also like that the referee, if there is a
Yeah.
VAR decision, will go look and then explain to them what happened. All right, there
Sure.
wasn't a handball, or because it hit the player's chest and then the hand is not a
That's
handball.
fine. Yeah. Just don't make it like a 2-minute reasoning.
Excuse me.
Just make it
Yeah.
like 15
No, exactly.
seconds and done.
Give it a quick.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Now here's where we get a little bit of controversy. Substitutes must exit the field within 10 seconds. So if I hold your number up on the board, Brooks, and you clearly see it, you see this number right on this board. Do you see it? Okay, I see you acknowledging it. Does the clock start? How are we going to monitor this? Because guess what? Brooks is going to be alerted that he's about to be subbed. So what's he going to do? He's
Sprint.
going to turn his back and he's going to stand in the middle of the field pretending to have a conversation with another player or tying his shoe to waste extra time. Players do this. We get it. I don't know. I don't know about this one, boys. Thoughts?
I thought this was already a thing. I thought like you had to now exit the nearest
You are.
field
Yeah.
and you
You
just
are.
go and
But
That
now
makes it quicker.
But now you've got 10 seconds. And if you don't, you're going to get a yellow card.
yeah, I think it's more like 10 seconds based on when the ref feels like, you know what I mean?
Okay, it's like when they.
I hope. Is the referee keeping a clock?
It's kind of like hey, you can't drive and use your cell phone. Why? Well, because if you get in an accident, well, isn't there already a law and a fine if I get in an accident? Yeah, but now you're on your cell phone. Well, how do you know I was on my cell phone? Because you got in an accident.
Yeah.
But isn't there? So it's like to me, it's just like
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on
But
board with
to
a little bit
me-
you're thinking there.
To me, it's like the goalkeeper rule when
I
like
was
you
about
got
to
so
say,
many.
6 seconds goalkeeper.
No one does that.
yeah, it's
It's ridiculous.
So is the referee? Well, now we see how MLS is. They're becoming very rule oriented now.
yes.
Is there going to be a running clock? Are we going to see this?
No.
Is there
I
going to be a
mean,
running clock?
I think it's not gonna be 10 seconds. If you're like, man, this is 30 seconds. There's the yellow. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what the ref will
Okay.
do.
All right.
If it's like 10, it's like, yeah, he's close enough. Like, no big deal.
All right.
I mean, it's in the ref's hands, essentially.
Yeah.
It's their
Okay.
decision.
So those three right there, I don't think we have too much to argue about, and we can kind of agree with them. Here's the one that I really, really disagree with. All right? If an injured player remains on the ground for 15 plus seconds, they will have to then exit the field and remain off the field for 2 minutes. Essentially what you're saying is, well, you were injured, and it took longer than 15 seconds, so now you've got a 2-minute penalty. Well, but it's your fault for not healing quick enough.
you realize
your fault.
that conversation was what you just said was longer than 15 seconds.
Yes.
Did you time him?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Yes. And Nate, you've played the sport of soccer.
I have.
I've played the sport of soccer.
You have?
Danny's played the sport of soccer.
Oh, he has.
Brooks has watched a lot. No, you've played as well. I know you.
I have. That's not as high as level as you guys.
But listen,
You know.
I've sprinted down a field and been stood on and been whacked, and it freaking hurts. And sometimes after you've just sprinted 60 yards and been whacked and stood on, accidentally, whatever,
So
it can take longer than 15 seconds for you to actually catch your breath and get up. But now I'm going to be penalized for 2 minutes.
So good old Scott Emmett has chimed in with, I agree with that one, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Go F yourself, Scott Emmert.
And
What?
and
So how?
I would like
How?
I would like Scotty to explain that one to us, actually,
Yeah.
why he agrees with that, because I think it's the most ridiculous rule
Yeah.
that
Well-
they could have possibly come out with.
I'm going to hold on, Brooks.
Yeah, go
Before you
ahead.
jump
Yeah,
in,
you're good.
here's what I'm also going to do. If my team is up a goal with 3 minutes left in a game, and superstar Danny gets the ball and he's traveling down the field, I'm going to go whack him. I'm going to go absolutely whack the crap out of his legs, and then the referee is going to come up and give me a yellow card.
I'm going to step on
A-
him.
and Danny's going to be on the ground holding his leg because I did mean to hurt him. And I have actually hurt him. I didn't mean to break his. I didn't break his leg, but I've given him a bruise. And guess what? He can't get up off the ground for 15 seconds. So now we're into about 20 seconds. Now he's got to go sit out for 2 minutes. You down a man. My team's up a goal. Yeah.
I'm gonna tackle Danny and
Yeah.
get him in a hold and a hug.
So they did say, right? They did say, and I do recall reading this, that they said that there are few exceptions to this rule, right? And one of them being head injuries, goalkeeper injuries, serious medical events like the Tom Lockyer one today, yesterday for Luton, and fouls resulting in cards as they may need more time on the pitch.
Okay.
So fouls, but if it's not a foul, then, essentially that player that's on the ground for 15 seconds can't re-enter for 2 minutes. It's almost like you're punished for being injured.
Right. And pain is different for everybody.
Right.
If Nate punches you and he punches me, it's going to hurt one of us more than the other.
It's not going to hurt me.
It's not going to hurt me very much either, but,
He hits like a delicate flower, this old
I ain't got time to bleed.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to be bulldozed by Nate.
I'm going to tackle. I've now become the greatest defender ever because I'm just tackling people and holding them on the ground for 15
Yeah,
seconds.
exactly.
And then yelling, "Ref, that's 2 minutes. That's 2 minutes, ref.
He's been on the ground for more than 15 seconds. Brooks?
Sir, he's got my legs. I can't get up."
We got a few more comments. So Victor says, love it for floppers like Craig.
Oh.
Go F yourself, Victor.
Here goes Scott Emmert. So I've seen too many times where players are staying on the ground to emphasize a missed call, only when to be miraculously healed when the ball finally gets kicked out. And then Mark Jerobi with a comment, 15 seconds is too little, but it's just another wonky MLS rule to make the game move faster, likely made by folks who have never been kicked in the shin multiple times in the opening 15 minutes. You can't punish players and in turn teams.
See, I actually agree with Scott on that one.
Yeah.
I actually agree with that because there are players that get whacked, in a game, and the referee plays play on. And now, the only question is now
Neymar's the biggest offender.
Because in normal games right now, right, when somebody gets injured, unless it's a head injury, they play on, right?
Right, absolutely.
Usually, yes.
So they play on. So if they play on for 30 seconds, right, ball goes out of bounds, do they then go back to the injured player and count the 30 seconds that they've played on and the advantage and count that as the 15 seconds that he was down and then send him off for 2 minutes?
Or is it just when it's injury and it's stoppage that then they do that?
See, I think further clarity needs to be made on that because it's just it's an interpreted rule, right?
Correct.
You can interpret it a million different ways
agree.
outside of the parameters they actually said.
Yes.
Based on the way that it was written and the way we see it, it's a bit of a stupid rule, the MLS thinking they can do this better than the rest of the world. I'm sorry, MLS, you're getting too big for yourself.
What would we be if we weren't America, Craig? We do
I-
this for every sport.
But you're
But all those sports that we do it for are all American sports, so it doesn't really matter.
This is true.
Hey, we got a rule change that'll affect the global world of baseball. Who's that? Everyone in America.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm just saying.
The World Cup will be the World Series will be affected by this new rule. Who's playing in it? All the.
Do you know what makes me laugh? I don't know. I can't believe I'm going to get political here, but do you know what makes me laugh is that we can make so many stupid rule changes with the greatest sport on earth, but yet we can't change the Constitution of the United States and make amendments.
Hell no.
It's
No, you can
politically
make-
incorrect.
You can make amendments. What are you doing?
Yes, but it doesn't happen very often, does it?
Yeah, because it takes like a whole system of voting in order to. Someone's not just like, hey,
And soccer's not the most important most important game in the world.
all right, fair enough.
All right, so
All right.
It's more important than life, my friend.
it is right.
Life,
You win
more
this
important than
one,
life.
Mr. Bond.
It's not a matter of life and death. It's more important than that, Nathan.
You're right, Mr. Bond. My bad. Good point on this one. I mean,
Scott Emmer wants the old penalty kicks back, though, so he agrees with us.
We all want those back,
What?
Scott. We all want those back.
why can't we just let the refs do their job? If the ref feels a guy's laying on the ground for too long and he wants to then say, okay, you have to, exit for a minute or two and then come back in, so be it. Why do you have to set like a time?
Right. Why do we have to have a timer? Why can't we just do how we always have done it? Listen, you received medical attention. You must leave the field until I deem it is okay as the referee for you to come back on. We do not need a timer, a limit. It's
just a
ridiculous.
wild.
Well, Scott brings up a very good point here. He said people hated the pitch clock in baseball, and after 1 year, the sport did get a lot better. I mean, they've got more fans because it doesn't last for 4.5 hours
Who
anymore.
watches baseball?
Scott has a very good point.
No,
Old
Scott.
people. Old people.
Scott's doing this just to argue.
No, well,
He does.
and he's gotten me too, but I do very much do agree with what he's saying.
Hey,
Yes.
you guys remember when they made all those rule changes in cricket, actually?
Oh my gosh.
No, I don't
no.
because I don't care. Just like
Hey.
I don't care about baseball.
Hey,
What?
Hey.
It is an American
Hey.
pastime, Nate.
cool your jets. Cricket is one of England's favorite pastimes.
Were you a
Why?
bowler?
Because it's a game that can go on.
Were you a bowler? Did you play?
I couldn't play cricket actually, to be honest with you.
Why? Because you're too athletic.
He was too busy in the stands eating sandwiches and drinking
I
the
was,
beer.
I was too busy eating prawn sandwiches at Old Trafford.
Because you'd fall asleep midway through while playing because the game goes on for days.
Ah,
and
moving
still
on to
ends
the
in a
last-
draw.
Can we get to this? Can we get to the return to play equity rule that they just brought in?
Yes.
Can we
You're gonna
please
need
get
to
to
do
that?
it. Yes, please.
Go
Have
for
at
it.
it.
So-
Tell us.
So the last one, right, is finally, and this was rule number 6, I think. If players suffer head injuries from a collision with each other requiring off-field treatment, they will only return to the match at the same time after their evaluations have been completed.
Oh my gosh.
So
That
both
is-
have to go in
that
at
is
the same time?
absolutely
So if you
stupid.
So if you and I, right, if you and I clash heads and you've got an egg-sized bump on your head, but yeah, I've got a 6-inch gash on my head that's bleeding.
You have to
so
wait for him.
You have to wait for me.
And
So you can
you're
milk the
gonna
clock
milk-
anyways.
You're going to milk the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Because you're
Especially
a
if it's the
defender and
best
I'm
player.
a forward and your team's up a goal.
For sure.
Right. You're going to. Oh my God.
Scott
MLS.
doesn't like that rule. He said it's pretty stupid.
MLS. What are we
I
doing
agree.
here?
Yes.
What are we doing? So, I mean, again, I think it's MLS trying to they're too big for their boots. They think they're smarter than everybody else. Sorry. MLS, you will find that you will have to undo some of these changes, and you may have players who don't want to come here anymore to play in your league because your stupid rules. But please do bring back the old penalty kicks.
Yes, MLS, if you are watching the We
I
Are
mean the
Soccer
ridiculous
And they
soccer
are.
rules we
Podcast
still have in
Sunday
college
night.
soccer in high school?
Wait, what?
You mean like the ridiculous rules we still have in college soccer in high school?
Nobody watches that. Anyways,
Yeah, some of the rules are a little wonky.
No, club
there.
soccer is different from high school. I'm saying college soccer; those are a bit
No, but I
ridiculous.
mean, listen, those are lower level.
no one watches that either.
I mean, those are lower level tiers, way
Nate.
lower level tiers. But now your MLS is the
Nate,
top
Will you
level.
stop? Will you stop winding him up? He's got the microphone off the stand.
He doesn't understand how his stand works.
It's too short.
He's got the microphone.
can't
off the
adjust
stand.
You
the
can't
stand!
use this one.
He's got it off the stand. He's wearing his Brooks T-shirt. Don't piss him off.
I'm still
okay,
the
no, he's
his
right.
own brand T-shirt. That's blowing my mind.
He's right.
know.
I have to apologize to the 10 parents that watch their kids play in the college soccer final, whatever.
There were like a
Carry
couple
on.
thousand people there, by the way.
Ooh.
And I think like DeMartin Stadium gets a couple. Were we at the IU? We were at the
Yeah,
IU-MSU game. I think there were a
Gets-
couple thousand people there.
Sweet.
So hold your horses there, Mister.
It gets a couple thousand people, mate. It gets a couple thousand people.
I'm like, just like DCFC? I mean, what the fuck's your point? Like,
My point is, you think no one goes, but actually people do. So
Oh,
yes.
you think no one goes, Nate? Checkmate. 50 people watch that game.
Wouldn't you want to take your own children to games to go watch them?
I want them to go watch pro, not punt and chase.
That's
oh,
not.
there's nothing wrong with punt and chase. Some of us made a
Shut up,
career out of that.
442.
Whoa, coming back. All right. Yeah, so MLS, bigger than your britches. Not going to work out, in my opinion. Those rules will get undone in a couple of years. All right, let's move on. We've got a lot to get to. Listen, let's jump to it right off the bat. Yesterday, if you hadn't heard, in the Bournemouth-Luton game, club captain for Luton, Tom Lockyer, is now in stable condition in hospital after going into cardiac arrest on the pitch during the team's match at Bournemouth. Lockyer collapsed around the 59th minute. This is the second time he has done that. He did that last year in the promotion chase and was then taken to hospital. I believe he had something put into his heart, but they didn't expect it to happen again. At this point, scary scenes. The game has been officially, as they say, abandoned. Now, I've had a couple of people text me today and say, what does that mean? Is it just going to end in a draw? What's going on? No, according to the EPL, English Premier League, and the Football Association, a game must be completed. So the game at the time was 1-1. That'll kind of be thrown out the window. This game's going to be replayed starting from minute 1. So once these two clubs can find common ground and time, they will replay it down at Bournemouth. So both teams right now on 16 games. Everybody else is on 17 games. But some sad scenes there. It's not funny to say this, but my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law were around yesterday when this was happening. I was reading out what was going on, and they said, "Wow, there's just been a string of soccer players with heart incidents in the last 2-3 years, and the biggest one that they remember is Christian Eriksen." To be honest, this isn't just started to come about. This has been around for almost 30 years now. There have been players, I would say there's normally 1 or 2 a year, maybe more, that go down with heart issues. It's kind of the way it is at the moment. Kind of sad scenes there. I don't know if you boys want to add anything to that.
We're just thankful that he's in stable condition. He's having some tests done right now. I think the biggest difference between the playoff final at Wembley against Coventry was the fact that he fainted on the field.
Yeah.
He had a heart murmur and fainted on the field in the playoff final. But this was a serious condition. This was a cardiac arrest. And to watch the poor lad go to his knees and then kind of faceplant, it was worrying. It was kind of reminiscent, brought me back to the Christian Eriksen World Cup, situation. And it wasn't World Cup, was it? It was the Euros.
Euros.
Euros. And it was sickening, really, to be honest with you. But he underwent heart surgery in the summertime to have a stent put in his heart. And he was cleared back to come back to full training. But again, if you look at Christian Eriksen, that had a full cardiac arrest in the Euros, and he took a year off and came back. You hope. And this kid, he's not a superstar, but he's been with that club through probably 4 or 5 promotions.
Yep.
A club captain. He's not a superstar, but he's very, very indebted to the Luton Town faithful. So you hope that he can come back and do a Christian Eriksen, have a defibrillator put in his heart, and come back and compete.
There are several players, notably Christian Eriksen and Daley Blind, who actually have defibrillators in their heart and play on and are continuing to play. So hopefully he can do that, but I don't know, man. That's a second scary situation. You can only do so much and put your family through so much.
Just prayers for his family.
Yeah, man. So some sad news to pass along there. Let's jump into some of the rest of the games that happened on Friday. Nottingham Forest 0, Tottenham 2. I tell you what, guys, Tottenham. This game was a really interesting game. Very fun to watch. Tottenham were at their best again. Basuma, in the 70th minute, takes a red card. Richarlison, my oh my, he seems to have found his scoring touch in the last couple of games. Put them up ahead, 1-0, and then Kulishevsky finished off second. It's not easy to go to Nottingham Forest and play, and I do say that obviously because my Villa went there and lost 2-0, but Nottingham Forest make it difficult at home. Steve Cooper knows how to organize and set up his team. Tottenham, high flying, 2-0 winners. They continue on, luckily for them. And then we get to the Saturday games. As we said, Bournemouth 1, Luton Town 1, Chelsea 2, Sheffield United 0. Cole Palmer and Nicholas Jackson, who seems to have also found his scoring touch with the second goal there. Chelsea, I gotta be honest, without Raheem Sterling, Chelsea is lost. They're at sea and have no idea what's going on. Raheem Sterling is running this team. With this game could have been a lot worse than 2-0 for Sheffield United. Some poor refereeing decisions and some lackluster finishing on Chelsea's part. I tell you what, though, they need to be worried about keeping him healthy.
It was an uninspiring first half, really, to be honest with you, from both teams. All Chelsea second half. I think Sheffield United got into the attacking half maybe once or twice in the second half because it was all Chelsea. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you something, which was, you look at the amount of money that they've spent on players, but Pochettino seems to be building this team around Cole Palmer and Conor Gallagher.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And they were both terrific at
Yeah.
the weekend.
Yeah.
And for obviously Conor Gallagher wearing the captain's armband because Reece James is out with injury, seems to be like, he obviously is sending a message to the club because he's out of contract in 2025.
Yeah.
It's Conor Gallagher. So obviously he wants to keep him, but they were both instrumental in both goals, and they were absolutely fantastic in the midfield with Raheem Sterling. So, he seems to be building it around young English lads, and to be honest with you, I'm really pleased for Cole Palmer because he was absolutely terrific, and I can see Cole Palmer going to the Euros in the summertime.
There's a reason, and I'll call him unproven, Danny. There's a reason in the summer he was unproven and still cost £40 million.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
Pep liked
40.
him.
Pep liked him,
Pep liked
but
him a
the
lot,
kid
but they
knew he
wanted to
wasn't going to
leave.
get his
Yeah.
time.
No, he
knew
wanted
he
to
wasn't going to
leave.
get his time there.
He wanted to leave, and he wanted to go, and obviously Pochettino's come in and said, look, you're going to play here, you're going to have an instrumental role here, and Chelsea are a big club, so, he's gone there with a lot of weight on his shoulders, and he's performing. He's a great player. I like him. I'm glad he's English.
Yeah, I was going to say he's another English player. Can you imagine him, Conor Gallagher, Bellingham, ruling the roost for the next 10 years?
Oh, we need
in the
it.
middle of that field.
We need it because, the emergence of Cole Palmer and Conor Gallagher, it's like, get Henderson out of the way. Now
Absolutely.
you've got a midfield five of Declan Rice, Cole Palmer, Conor Gallagher, Jude Bellingham, Mason Mount,
That's the stuff the dreams are made of, my friend.
yeah, you know what? It's just like, do your job, Gareth Southgate, and get these boys in the squad.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's possible.
Hey, and some good news for Nate. Mr. Nkunku was on the bench, and he is training with Chelsea. He is almost ready to come back and play.
How's that good news for me?
You love Nkunku. He's
I do
from your
love
league.
him. I'm just saying,
He's from your league.
I think
He's one of your guys.
he's one of my No, but
He's a farmer.
He's a farmer.
He's a farmer.
He's the corn.
Yeah.
He's the corn guy.
Grows
Yeah.
the beets.
The
Yeah,
beets. He's
sure.
a beet farmer.
Over there in Germany where they do that. Yeah.
He's about to farm some beets over in the Premier League, isn't he?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I hope he does well, but that's everyone keeps looking at like Chelsea needs a striker. I think he might be your striker.
They
That's
just
it.
need
We'll
just
see.
needs to get healthy.
We'll
Just needs
see.
to get healthy.
I think they need center backs, but we'll see.
Oh, they definitely need center backs. Not against teams like Sheffield United, but against some of the halfway decent teams in the league, they absolutely do. All right, Man City 2, Crystal Palace 2.
Oh, have I got a lot to say about this game?
Oh my word. Man City were cruising. Grealish put the ball in the back of the net. Rico Lewis put the ball in the back of the net, and then they took their foot off the gas. And oh my word,
Grandpa
Roy
Roy.
Hodgson, Grandpa Roy.
Yeah, his brilliant tactics.
Oh man, he is. He was laughing at the end there. Danny, go ahead, take it away, my friend.
Palace should have won this game.
Absolutely.
I mean, Palace should have won this game, to be honest with you. City were wasteful, like really wasteful throughout the game as well. But I will say the build-up to the Grealish goal with Rodri, Foden, and the through ball from Foden and Grealish was just sheer quality. And at 2-0 up, you think they're absolutely cruising, right? But if you look at the last 6 games in the Premier League, right, 1 win against Luton, 4 draws, and a defeat to Villa, they've been complacent defensively, City, over the last 6 games. And I don't think it's down to the fact that he's changed so much. I think it's so difficult to come back from a treble season. I remember when United did it in 99. In 2000, they came back, and that first 4 or 5 months to come off that high, they played so poorly. The crazy thing is City are way in contention, right? If the turn of the year comes, and like now is the most important time for teams like Arsenal and Villa and Liverpool to pull away from City because they're going to catch you in February.
Oh, they will.
March, because they turn it on. So that was like glaring for me, the complacency. I didn't think Edison should have stayed on the pitch. I thought his out-of-the-box challenge on Mateta was a straight red. I thought it was a straight red because if he rounds the keeper, he's putting the ball in the back of the net and he's hitting the last defender.
Right.
So for me, it was denying of a goal-scoring opportunity, number 1.
Yep.
Right.
I think everybody's in agreement there. Yep.
And my last point is, and this is really, 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 really important, right? The biggest question I have is, why can't a Premier League winner, an FA Cup winner, and a European Champions League winner Why can't they fill their stadium?
I have
Answer
no
me
idea.
that question. Martin Clegg, if you're watching, please tell me why this mega club can't fill their stadium.
All their
Because in the
fans are in
65th
China.
minute, when they were 2-0 up against Palace, going to the favoured Man City end, there were seats open everywhere. The greatest manager in the world, apparently with the greatest team in the world, why can't they fill the stadium? Because as shit as Man United are at the minute, and as poor as other teams are, they can still fill the stadium. So why can't the European champions do it?
Because their ticket prices are
Too high, yes.
It's not true because they're like capped. I think.
Too blue?
Is it the pies? The pies aren't as good.
I just
Trying to come up with an answer.
I
Brooks,
am.
what do you got?
we have this terminology in England called plastic.
Not playing a 4-4-2.
You've heard this, Craig, being English,
I
right?
think Craig agrees with that one.
Craig's heard this being English. He's my English brother.
He's South African.
There's
English
Depending
brother
on the
from another
day,
mother.
Depending on the day.
there's this term in England called plastic.
Yeah.
Like you're completely plastic. You don't go to the games. You stay at home, watch the games on the armchair and all that sort of stuff. And I just believe that they don't have a passionate fan base. I just really don't. I think they've got a lot of people that have jumped on the bandwagon just because Pep went there. From other countries, they don't go to games and all that sort of stuff. And it's really disappointing, really, to be honest with you, because, he even said it himself in the Liverpool game, in the press conference at the end, saying that, he wants the support to get up, and come to the games. That's the biggest question I have.
They need a new marketing team. That's what they need.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Yeah, I think so.
It is interesting that they can't fill the stadium for most of the game.
They should have dress like Pep Day or something,
Oh, good lord.
Yeah.
So,
You should be on the marketing team and help them.
No.
Are you? No? Okay.
Not them.
Okay. Which club then? Which club would you like?
Any?
Villa?
Sure.
Okay.
Better than them.
Yeah.
Still play some of the most attractive football when they're fully up and running. And as you heard Danny say, if they're within any distance of the title come February, it's going to be theirs. They will turn it on. Pep and his team will find a way to turn it on. But as of right now, one win in their last 6 games, 1 defeat, 4 draws. It's got to be a little concerning. Pep has come out and said he's just a little concerned at how his players can't turn it on at the moment. So watch this space. We'll see how they go. Brooks, we may have to do me a favor, look to see who they have coming up in the next couple of matches.
All right, give me a second.
But listen, they're dealing with some injury issues. Who isn't? Who isn't dealing with injury issues and suspensions? No excuse. They've spent billions in the last 12 years. Again,
Remember we were talking about Rodri?
yeah.
Rodri being suspended
Yep.
and how big of an influence it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in the last 2 games.
This is true.
There's something going on there. I'm not too quite sure what it is, whether it's the 155 charges that they've got hanging over their head or
115.
115. Sorry, I might have exaggerated that one a little bit. But they should have 155 just because they're City. It might be the 115 charges that they've got hanging over their head, or it could be due to the fact that they're just a little bit complacent. But something's definitely going on there because they're not Man City don't go 6 games without winning a game in the Premier
There's
League.
definitely complacency sitting in there.
So Man City's next 5 games you want?
Yeah, give me who's their next 5 games there, Brooke?
Just overall or Premier League?
Go overall.
Okay.
You're looking at the one that I'm. Go ahead.
Oh, maybe. The Club World Cup game, huh? That's good.
Oh
Hey,
yeah, that's right.
My
They're now
favorite J
disappearing.
League team, Urawa Reds. Yes, one of my
Urawa
favorite
Reds,
J
yeah.
League teams.
City's going down.
They are.
When do they play them next week?
That is Tuesday, December 19th.
Yeah, they just flew out yesterday, actually.
Yes.
After the game.
This couple of weeks. Okay, and then we got on the let's postpone to be determined. Man City's going to play Brentford at some point. 27th of December, Everton and Man City.
To be honest,
Everton are in form.
I
so
won
they're
a
in
lot
trouble.
of I won a
Sean
lot
Dyche.
of money on Everton, by the way, this weekend.
Sean Dyche is a good coach.
Sean Dyche has got them going
He is.
away at Burnley, and they played very well, by the way. We'll
You
get to
lose
that game
10
in a minute.
points. Sean Dyche is like,
Oh,
screw it.
Yeah.
What's 10 points?
Deduction of 10 points? Doesn't matter. We got this. Well done,
Correct.
Sean Dyche and Everton. I wanted to see you relegated.
30th, Man City plays Sheffield United.
Oh, good lord.
Yes, and then they don't have another game until January 7th, which is an FA Cup match against Huddersfield.
Okay,
So-
so
It's not crazy. But that Club World Cup game, though, you know, Nate,
Does
that's
anybody even care about the Club World Cup?
No, I won't be
I
watching
don't
it.
give
they're gonna expand it
crap
next.
about
They're gonna
it.
expand it next year, Craig. So it's gonna be much bigger and
No
better.
No one.
Yeah,
I'll watch
no one
it.
cares.
I'll watch it.
Nah. I mean, unless your club is in it, you don't care. And I mean, if it's on TV, I'll
Oh.
probably give it a watch. And
FIFA's
but,
gonna make sure we care about this because they know they can get a lot of money from it.
FIFA can keep trying. All right. Next up, Newcastle 3, Fulham 0. This game, everybody was kung fu fighting, especially Raul Jimenez in the 22nd minute. Holy moly!
That was
what
not
the-
a red card.
Were they fast as lightning?
Did you just say that was not a red card?
That was not a red card. Really? It wasn't reckless, was it?
What?
It wasn't reckless. Careless, yes, but it wasn't reckless. He didn't kung fu kick him.
There was no intention.
He jumped, but he didn't like stick his leg out and kung fu kick him like Eric Cantona did back in the day.
No, he definitely did not do a Cantona. But I will tell you, I have taken the full force of someone's hip as they jump into my face, and I was knocked out. I was gone.
Oh my!
So
What was this?
this is when I was.
As bad as the red card today from Diego Dallo. It was. I didn't think it was a red
Oh,
card. man, to be
Dallos!
honest
Oh my
with you.
God, send him off. That's atrocious. No, I'm just kidding. No, I thought it
was
was.
si- it was
I
silly.
Thought I thought it was. I thought it was a red card.
It was silly.
was.
He jumped into him, but it wasn't reckless nor dangerous. He didn't lead with his elbow. He didn't lead with his knee. He didn't lead with his foot. He ran into the guy full speed. Jesus, comedy Christ! Like,
I mean,
get out the way or jump
I
over
would,
him.
I would say I have no problem with it being a red card. If it was deemed a yellow card, I'd probably say, all right, referee, fine. But I don't know. First time I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's going to hurt.
Full
man.
on red for two key reasons.
Go for it.
Stupid headband, stupid gloves.
Well, all right. Hold tight on that. I'll give you the gloves. He's Mexican, so he's cold because
I don't
The
I don't
headband,
care.
he suffered a fractured skull, so he has to wear the headband.
This is Raul Jimenez.
Jimenez.
Yeah, he's got to put the head.
He's got to wear the headband.
Yes.
That is not a safety head. That is a
Like
that's a
Petr Cech. Petr
fashion
Cech had to
piece.
wear the headgear.
That is with foam and everything else.
I tell you what though, because the red card really impacted the game because Fulham were on a right tear. You know, they just won 2 Premier League games back to back, 5-0. You know, they were playing well. They were in form. You know, so the red card was unfortunate. You know, whether I think it was one or not. Away at Newcastle is always a tricky place to go anyway. You know, but down to 10 men, you're always up against it. But you know, I said, what a moment, though. Like, you talk about like really good moments. We go back to the MLS Cup about academy graduates playing in the first team and all that sort of stuff. You know, Lewis Miley with his first goal as an academy graduate. You know,
Yeah, how awesome is that?
that's
for the
just
kid? How
awesome.
is
You know,
that,
and he
right?
just he loved it as well. You could see the hairs on the
Oh,
back
yeah.
of his neck stand up when he went to ground on his
I like how
knees
you call
there.
them graduates, and we have homegrowns here. I like the terminology here.
Yeah, he's an academy
Yeah,
graduate.
sounds
you know,
more
he's,
proper.
You know, and actually really composed finish from the young boy as well. You know, and not only becomes Newcastle's youngest Premier League scorer, but youngest academy graduate into the first team, which I think is like that's cool. You know, that's really cool. You know, and every credit to Eddie Howe for bringing through an academy graduate.
And what's cool about that is actually they played a player who they didn't have to go out and spend tens of millions of pounds on, even though they have the oil money.
Right.
Yeah, and the other goals scored by Luis Almiron, former Atlanta MLS player there.
Yeah, Craig didn't like him. They're not going
I-
to adapt to the EPL. And
I
look
do
what he's
not
doing
like
now,
him.
Craig.
I do not like him. I think there's not many teams he'll fit in.
A little bit Eddie Howe
And
magic
then
right
Dan
there.
Byrne in the 82nd minute to close it out, 3-0. Well done to Newcastle United. Then comes Burnley at home, ishing the bed against Everton. Everton, high-flying Everton. I'm sorry, boys. Everton might have had the performance of the weekend for me. This game, they were incredible. 2-0 Everton. Onana and Keane early on in the game in the 19th and 25th minute. This game was gone. It could have been 10-0. Burnley were never going to score. They were never coming back in it. Sean Dyche had full control the entire time. Well done, Everton, I must say. Boys, I'm gonna put up the table right now.
Who are you apologizing to?
You're
like, "I'm sorry."
I'm apologizing to Everton because I called them absolutely crap several weeks
Yeah, I
ago.
lost my bet, so.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. They're on 16 points. If they hadn't had 10 points deducted from them, they'd be in 10th.
Above Chelsea.
They'd be above Chelsea. How and goal difference? How would they be? So, goal difference 2. Yeah, they'd be in 10th above Chelsea, right behind your Brighton Hove Albion.
Yeah, my Seagulls aren't doing well.
I mean, Everton. I am sorry, Evertonians and the fans of Everton. You were one of the poorer teams in the first several weeks of this season, but man, have you turned it on. I think that 10-point deduction
It's the new stadium.
spurred them on. It's the new stadium, but take a look at this. In the last 5 matches, win, loss, win, 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 win. Everton, the most, outside of the top 3, they are the most informed team in the Premiership in the last 5 matches.
Yeah.
Everton. How I'm flabbergasted. If you couldn't tell, I think it's absolutely amazing what Sean Dyche has been able to do.
They are, because nobody else has won 4 games back to back right now.
No, yeah, you're right.
The informed team in the Premier League.
They are the informed team. Well done. Well done, Everton.
Sean Dyche.
Yeah, well done, Sean Dyche. Really turned it around. All right, let's jump into the rest of the games that happened. Arsenal 2, Brighton Hove Albion 0. Martin Odegaard ran the show today. He was a magician and a superstar in the middle of the field for Arsenal. Man, I love watching him, by the way. There was only one player who was better than him. It was the Brighton Hove Albion goalie. He made some stunning saves. Kai Havertz with another goal there. Seems to have found his scoring touch. Jesus earlier in the game to put them up 1-0. Final 2-0. Arsenal continue on. 12 wins. 3 draws and 2 losses overall for them. Brighton continued to plummet a little bit. Mitoma was not good. Lewis Dunk was all right in the back, but kept getting run ragged. Saka for Arsenal played well. Good to see Emile Smith-Rowe make an appearance finally. But yeah, Arsenal keep moving on. 2-0. We've got a lot more to get to here. We are going to be right back with more EPL.
Tempo, yes, drop out, good. Yes, touch play, right foot, yes. Scan, good. Touch in, play, drop your hip, right, yes, good scan. Yes. Jay, well done. Good side on touch. Play, see it, yes.
All right, guys, thanks for sticking around. Big thank you to our partners and sponsors. Thank you to Soccer World, soccerworld.net for all your soccer gear needs. They got some big sales going on right now, so check them out. Make sure you follow all their socials. Sign up for the newsletter. I got, I think, a 10% off coupon the other day in the newsletter, so sign up for that, soccerworld.net. Big thank you to Next Level Training, the best trainers around. Check out their website, Next Level Training. They've got some camps coming up for the kids. I know Nate is signing his daughter up. Already has.
Already signed up,
Already
I think.
signed up.
I'm not quite sure, but we'll see.
You're signed up, my friend.
Heck yeah.
My kids are going to be signing up. Lots of kids signing up for the Next Level Training Camp. The great thing about the next level camps,
I wish I could sign up.
I wish you could too, actually. You need the help. Whoa, hey, shots fired.
Well, you know.
The great thing about the next level training camps that they're doing over the Christmas period here, I think the December 27th, 28th, and January 3rd, they have professional players coming in to help out and to stick around and to answer questions afterwards.
So literally, I asked Sydney, I'm like, hey, do you want to go to this camp? And, it's at next level. She goes, yeah, sure. I go, they're going to have pros. She goes, sign me up now.
Yeah, man.
And I didn't even tell her about the Q&A part, and I apologize to the professionals who will show up.
Oh, is this the one that Chloe Ricketts does?
Hey, you don't have to give it away. The superstars who are coming in, they're going to have several of them there.
They've already started to advertise it
Well,
if
they
they follow
said-
them on social media.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, your daughter's in for a treat, Nate.
My daughter asks,
Yeah.
non-stop repeated questions that they're actually good, too, sometimes. You're like, where'd she come up with that? Like, when she did a DCFC one, and they had some of the pro guys and girls there, she was like, what was the most challenging thing you've ever done as a professional? And these people are like, how about my favorite player? They're like, what do you, like,
Jeez, where are the softball questions here?
She's like going to hammer them. I'm telling you, just so you'll figure out who my daughter is as soon as you go, okay, question time, and this one kid's hand just will rocket straight up.
She'll actually put both hands in the air.
Oh, yeah. And then you'll answer a question, and then a second later, rocket straight up.
Yep. So, hey, sign up for those next level Christmas camps that are going on. They're day camps. They are awesome. Sign up before all spots are filled out. Thank you to Dog and Pony Show Brewing. Appreciate you guys. I would be drinking Dog and Pony Show beer now, except for I've been under the weather this week and I'm on a little medication, so no beer for me at the moment. I am hoping to get up there over the Christmas break. Hopefully we will see you up there in Oak Park, Dog and Pony Show Brewing. Thank you to the Michigan Jaguars. My kids were out playing Jags Futsal 5 today. I'm a big fan of that, by the way. Huge fan of the club. Thank you to the Michigan Jags. Appreciate you guys for supporting We Are Soccer. All right, we got a couple of other games to get to here in the Premiership. Let's go with that West Ham 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0 game. West Ham just kind of chugging along. Jared Bowen with another goal. At home, West Ham have been really tough this year. Just kind of keep along going, doing their thing. I want to put up that table again. As you can see, West Ham up into 8th for a small period of time. They were into 7th today, but that was overtaken with the next game. That's one of the last games we'll talk about. West Ham, though, over the last 5 games, win, draw, win, and loss, and a win. I'm telling you what, they've kind of found their form again. They went through a little bit of a dip, but you know what? Overall, West Ham doing all right. Wolves dropping like a stone. Win, loss, win, draw, loss. Ooh, Wolves might need to find a touch of form through the window, through the December window here, or you could find yourselves in some trouble. Down at the bottom, Luton, Burnley, Sheffield United. I think we can all just wave at you now. Goodbye. You're not coming back. You might get a win here, there, or somewhere, but it ain't going to be very much, and you're going to be gone. The top of the table we'll get to. We'll bring this back up in a little bit. We got some games to talk about. We got 2 more games to talk about that happened this weekend. Why don't we start out with my Aston Villa 2 and Brentford at home 1. Villa down 1-0 after what seemed like forever, by the way. I was pacing around watching and said, this is just going to be one of these games. This is going to be the game that does it for us. This is going to be the game that we'll remember and we'll say, that's when it all came crashing down in the middle of December. We had such high hopes, but that's just
Being
the way it is.
pessimistic.
It's tough when you've been dealing with this for 30 years, man. It's tough.
Craig, you just got to change the mindset.
It's really tough when.
Is that what you do if you're in a game and you're like, I can't hit the damn goal, that you just be a pessimistic and say, I suck at scoring?
You've got a manager,
Come on.
right there, that's won trophies, and not just like shit.
Well, in
trophies.
Spain.
Yeah.
Villarreal, right?
The guy has won European trophies.
Oh, he's a top
so
class manager.
he's
Trust your leader.
He's top class, right? You've got to put a little bit more faith into your Villa. I know that. I think they'll drop off a little bit? Yes, I do. But I think right now you've got to be riding the wave high because, to be honest with you, they're playing some really good football.
And he's beaten English teams to win European trophies.
He's
Yes.
like,
This is true, actually. Yes.
to be honest with you, I mean, I don't think he got the credit he deserved at Arsenal.
Correct. He should have stayed longer, and he would have been
absolutely,
successful.
and given
Well,
given the time. But
Agreed, absolutely agreed. But this is Villa. This is what we've done for forever, for 30+ odd years. We up into that top 5 or 6 and then drop like a stone.
this is not.
But this is there's something different here because they came back today and they just fought and fought and fought, and it
this
was
is not-
what a crazy end of the game.
This
by
is
the way.
not a. I don't. The crazy thing about this, right, and this is something that we all need to get behind because it's a true statement. This is not his squad yet.
No.
This is Steven Gerrard's squad.
He's using 9 players that were still in the starting 11 for
He
season
signed
start.
what 3-4 players in the summertime. Pau
Pau Torres,
Pau
That's what
Torres,
makes-
Diaby,
Diaby, Tielemans,
and Moreno.
But
Right.
that's what makes him a good coach, is that they may not be his guys, but they are learning
Right.
his ways.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yes.
And he hasn't got, I don't think necessarily yet, the players that he wants. And if Villa's ambitious at all, given the fact that there's only a couple of games to go here before January, if they're ambitious at all and they've got any holes whatsoever in that squad where they can improve the team, and he gets the money that he deserves in January and goes back to him, I can see Villa fighting for a top 4 spot.
I mean, top 4 is not out of the realm. Brooks, you got your
What
hand
do you
up?
think your team needs to sustain their run right now? Sustain that into the spring and through the winter.
They need to stop being stupid and picking up yellow cards and being suspended.
Fair enough.
I'll tell
But
you
like,
that.
if you had an addition, is it depth? Is it depth at a position? Is it a starter here? Like, tell me.
We lost. Yeah, we need a creative player in the middle of the field. Right before the season started, the day before the season kicked off, we lost Emi Buendia, our number 10 creative center midfielder, to a ACL injury, and then the first game we lost starting center back Tyrone Mings to an ACL injury. So probably another center back would be nice and a creative player. But those are tough players to find. Those are tough players.
They don't grow on trees, as they say.
And you can't just put those players into a game without blooding them it takes to a system, right? They're going to have to get acclimated to the system. And I tell you what, Unai Emery's way of doing things, it's his way or the highway. But there needs to be a little bit more squad rotation. I think he tried that today. You could see where it hurt a little bit, but that's okay. We came back and we won and we picked up 3 points. Here's the one thing I do want to say, guys. Aston Villa today faced something that they faced in midweek at Mostar, and they faced against Nottingham Forest, which they really haven't faced over the years, and that's a low block. Villa, every time they picked up the ball today, they were not confronted with the defender until they got 10 yards inside of the Brentford half. It was unbelievable how disciplined Brentford were, and it is so tough to break down a low block like that. We've seen teams like Arsenal do it. We've seen teams like Man City who are accustomed to playing like this. This is brand new for Villa. Villa don't know how to deal with a low block. This is something new. Earlier in the year, in almost every game they've played this year, they bring teams and say, yeah, come on, we'll give you a little possession, Villa. We're Villa. You have the ball. Come at us. Come on to us. We'll win the ball, and then we go. And then we do the counterattack thing. We're very good at that because we use our speed. When teams say, no, you have the ball. We want to try counterattack. We get a little lost, and that's why, Brooks, I say, we need a creative guy, someone who can dribble through, almost a Jack Grealish type player who can unlock a defense by dribbling 2 players and then dishing the ball off. It's unusual. It's unusual, but yes, Villa stick around in third. They win today. Lose Bouba Kamara to a red card as he put his hands in one of the Brentford players' faces as a skirmish was happening. Martinez picks up a yellow card. There was several other yellow cards that happened. It was
I got it.
a little disappointing in the end.
There's a lot said after the game, right, about the Ollie Watkins celebration. Right, there's a lot said about that, right? And
Yeah.
He came out. He's a young English lad. His explanation at the end of the game was the fact that it wasn't a player. He'd been getting shit off a fan the whole game, and now to his credit, he wouldn't divulge what that fan was saying. But you can only think it was disparaging, and you only think it was racial in some way, right? And that's why he celebrated the way that he did. And I think that if a professional footballer is being abused like that, he should be allowed to celebrate the way he wants to celebrate, as long as it's not demeaning or inciting any violence or anything like that. So to his credit, I think the game got a little bit out of control in the last 10 minutes of the game, for sure, and in stoppage time. But you know what? He's won the game for Villa with a great goal again. He's playing well. He's got shit all game off a fan for it, and he's gone to celebrate. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, I give him full credit for not putting it out there either. But for anybody who didn't see, he scored the goal and he stood in the goal and he put his hand through the net and he pointed at that fan and said, "That's for you." And then he put his hand on his hips. Well done, Ollie Watkins, and well done, Villa. Yes, I am struggling a little bit to ride the wave, but it's fun right now. It's fun watching this team play week in, week out, and then going into Europe and winning games as well. It's fun, but it's just, as a Villa fan, you're always thinking, hey, we're playing well. When's the dip in form coming? Trying my best to just say, go with it, have fun. All right. Excuse me. Last game of the weekend, probably the biggest game that happened. As we know, one of the most watched games in the world is always Liverpool versus Manchester City. So Liverpool at Anfield, playing to Manchester United. It was a good game, in my opinion. I thought it was a good game. We must say right off the bat, Man United shorthanded without Bruno Fernandes, who picked up yellow cards and was suspended, without Maguire, who was injured. So a little shorthanded, but it was an entertaining game. But, man, I thought it needed some goals, didn't it? Danny, have at it. This is your team.
I need to get comfortable for this one.
Oh, boy, he's taking the microphone off.
I need to get comfortable with this
What?
one.
Did you forget that the mic stand also moves?
No. I need to get comfortable with this one and pull a Brooks because
I understand.
I
understand.
It's important, and it is important.
Don't. It's adjustable.
I think you need to try it yourself one time.
No.
It was a poor game of football. It was a really poor game of football. I'd even call it dire, to be honest with you. But necessary.
I was about to say, not to cut you off, but that's how Man United was going to get a result today, right?
Yeah, I was just about to say, it was necessary, and I will call it an admirable and gutsy performance from United. Really, to be honest with you, executed the game plan flawlessly, impressively at times. And if there was a little bit more incision, a little bit more get up and go in the final third of the field. I mean, you look at the Højlund chance in the second half on the counter and the Garnacho chance, in the final third, they might have nicked a win, to be honest with you. Varane, Evans, Shaw, terrific. And the young lad Manu, has now played at Goodison Park, St. James's Park, and Anfield over the last few weeks and has been arguably United's best player in all three. Ridiculous talent for the kid. But Liverpool were below par. Shocking, really, to be honest with you, below par, aside from the first 5 minutes.
Is that the worst performance you've seen from Liverpool, maybe outside of the Luton Town game this year? They just didn't seem to be up to it and with it.
Well, outside of the first 5 minutes where they put United under a lot of pressure in the press, I thought, they did very well in that first 5 minutes, but they were sloppy and careless in front of goal. And a half-decent team today, a half-decent Manchester United team would have beaten Liverpool today.
Absolutely.
The thing that's disappointing for me is the Virgil van Dijk and the Jurgen Klopp comments at the end of the game were disappointing, really, to be honest with you. And I think, I will say this, and it's a bit of a shot across the bow, but I'll say it. I think they need to remember that they've won one title in 33 years. And just to come back down to earth just a little bit with the comments that they made about Manchester United being buzzing for a point and all this sort of stuff, because there were many occasions during that 33 years where they were on they're on a downturn, just like Manchester United are at this moment in time, where they were happy with a draw against Manchester United at Anfield and happy with a draw at Old Trafford. So, the comments about they came here for a draw, there was only one team winning to win the game and all that sort of stuff. Well, of course, what do you want Man United to do? Do you want them to open up and play free-flowing football against you and get absolutely murdered? No. They came there with an intent, and the intent was to shut up shop and make it really difficult for Liverpool. So why don't we just focus on the fact that you've had 22, 23 chances, shots on goal, and you've not scored. So don't blame Manchester United for the fact that you haven't put the ball in the back of the net.
Right.
Let's focus on your performance instead of our performance. So I think it's a little bit of sour grapes, to be honest with you, and doesn't need to be said. So let's look at yourselves before you start slagging off another football club.
I think, one...
You say in America, slow your roll.
One, you're right, but two, I think that's his way of you know how footballers are. This is his way of, they're going to read the press. His own players are going to read the press, and Man United players are going to read the press. And this is his way of saying, my team were set up to win, and we played really well. They came here for a point. They're happy. We're not. This should motivate us. But I get where you're going with it. Absolutely. Maybe do it in a different way.
The Diego Dallo red card.
The
was
Dallo red card confused.
Ridiculously stupid from a referee that's obviously just flexed his muscles, right? Because Dallo was right. The ball went out off Salah. So he's complained about the referee making a mistake. In the last 2 minutes of the game, the ball's in our defensive third of the field. He's gone at the referee for dissent and gone at him again, and he's given 2 yellows in the space of 12 seconds, which is probably the most bizarre thing I've ever seen from a guy that's supposed to be England's best referee.
Yeah,
you know?
that was a bad.
And the same thing happened in the first half. Nunes got yellow carded for an innocuous challenge, which I actually thought was a red on Johnny Evans because he had no intention to play the ball. And then 5 minutes later, he's mouthing off to the referee as well. So the inconsistency in refereeing is just absolutely shocking at the minute.
Yeah.
And that red card was innocuous. It was just absolutely innocuous.
Now he's going to have to miss the next game. Dallo is.
They should appeal it.
Yeah.
They should appeal it.
I don't think anything's going to come of it because it was dissent, right?
Absolutely ridiculous.
All right, what we're going to do, Nate, did you have anything you wanted to chat about on the game? Sorry.
You know who played some really nice free-flowing football against Liverpool?
Who's that?
Villa. How'd that go for them?
Yeah, no, that was one of our first games of the season. Yep.
Yeah, 3-0 loss.
At Anfield, yes.
Anfield, dump trucked. And, I mean, it's sometimes you have to go in when you're the team that's not as good at that moment.
I like how you think I forgot that game, by the way.
No. But you even
one
said,
of our 2 losses.
But you even said it yourself, though.
3 losses.
You even said it yourself, I believe, at the time that they went in there with a free-flowing game and got cracked open.
Stuck to the game plan, but got cracked open.
You know, and hats off to that. That's not a criticism.
No,
It's just showing that the team that's sitting high up on the table went in and tried to play free-flowing football and got destroyed. United's not high up on the table, so they need points. They need to get results. They need to start building momentum. So they went in against a rival and decided to play a certain way because, I don't know, missing one of your better center backs, had to replace him with a guy who played 2 games, have a 36-year-old, 37-year-old playing next to him. You had one of your better midfielders, at least on paper, or what everyone tells me, but I think actually him not playing in that center would look better. But Fernandes is out. Players not really in form, struggling to score goals, and you went in there with a game plan. I think you executed it. I think they looked really good defensively. They bent a little bit, but players on the defensive end were making sound tackles and stepping in front of the ball to ensure that Onana wasn't getting shelled left, right, and center. And Onana came up with a save or 2.
I didn't expect that today.
I thought they were going to get.
I thought they were going to get dumb trucked.
Yeah, I thought they were going to lose 2-0.
Yeah, I thought they were going to get battered. To be honest with you, I did not expect that today.
And they were 2, from what I saw, from what I can remember this late in this evening. There was the Garnacho play where he was right in box, right about to go, and there was a tremendous, really good defensive play from Liverpool to prevent that from being a goal. And the Højlund, the Højlund opportunity. There were 2 opportunities almost clear from actually coming out with 3 points. And I think that was great, and is it what I want? No, but I wasn't going to get what I want. You know what I mean? Like, it's so to get ahead of that question, like, are you happy with the draw? No, I want them to win every single game there is. But the reality is you got a team that's, highly in form and a team that's not in form and struggling. And they were able to get a point.
And I said it on the Facebook group. I think that's the best result you could have hoped for, to be honest. And to credit to Manchester United, they dug their heels in and did what they needed to do. And there's a point. Yeah. There's a point. Yeah. I mean, well done, right? That's what you got to hold your hands up and say, well done. With that, let's put that table up now that we've talked about all of the games. If I can find it again here. Sorry. EPL table. Arsenal still leading the way on 39 points after 17 games. Liverpool today with that point are now on 38. Villa also on 38. Go ahead.
And have a guess what the fixture is next weekend.
What's that?
Arsenal, Liverpool. Arsenal, Liverpool at Anfield.
How brilliant is that?
just before Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
I mean, you couldn't ask for more.
And if Liverpool played the same way that they did today, sloppy,
They won't.
they'll get beat by Arsenal.
They won't. No, I don't think they will. I think Arsenal played very well today, but I see Liverpool coming out and actually playing way better. So we'll see. Villa on 38, Manchester City on 34, 5 points out of first, unusual for them. Tottenham sit in fifth on 33, Newcastle 6, Man United 7, West Ham 8, Brighton 9, Chelsea 10.
By the way, just hear me out just for a second, and just let's read the room, right? Can you imagine Arsenal Liverpool playing this weekend and playing to a draw, and Villa winning, and Villa are going into Christmas morning. Villa are top of the Premier League.
I'm putting my phone on mute because I
know,
just
right?
don't want to hear.
I'm putting
Craig.
my phone on mute,
not,
right? And
Practically making snow angels on the front yard.
the opening intro for the Was Soccer Show on this Christmas soccer show is going to be a Aston Villa Christmas carol. Christmas carol.
Welcome to the We Are Soccer Christmas special Villa edition, where we'll be talking Villa for 2 hours, 2 hours straight.
Only 2 hours? We're cutting it short.
Yeah,
Huh? Oh,
We have to wear
short,
claret and blue
Oh my God, Craig would have custom jerseys already made for us, ready to
my.
go.
with our last
Oh
names
my.
on them.
Yeah.
Aston Villa, top of the Premier League at Christmas.
I mean,
Oh my God.
I'm still my
What?
my
How much have I been drinking?
my Villa Craig Hearn wet dream still will be, and because it is so realistic. It would be really hard to come by, but it's at this point it's a possibility. It's a mathematical probability that Stuttgart and Villa could be playing each other in the group stage.
I mean,
at one point, and that is just I am dying. I go to bed at night, put my head in my pillow, and just go. Boy, would that be great.
Boy, would that not be fun. Brooks, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes.
Can you do me a favor? Can you pull up who Man United have left for the rest of December?
I can tell you off the
Danny,
top of my head.
Danny, I think they have 3 games left in December. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes,
So
they do.
they've
They
got-
do. They play West Ham United away next Saturday.
Yep.
They play
Villa at
Aston
home.
Villa at home on Boxing Day.
26.
And
Yep.
they play Forest away on the 30th.
So you have a total of 9 points that is possible.
I'm going to say 9 points. Because you know what?
Well-
As great as your Christmas number 1 is going to be, we're going to kick the shit out of you at Old Trafford and send you back to Birmingham.
Bring us back down to.
Because you won't have any players because they're all in car trouble. So you got one game in between when you play us that all those guys on yellow can then get another one, and then
7 youth players show up. But
Their youth academy is good.
But how many points have you picked up in December so far? I think you've got 1 win and a draw. That's 4 points.
What's the bet you two have?
Exactly. So, Danny,
It was 15 points, wasn't it?
Yeah, so you've officially, even if they win out, you're on 13 points.
I actually think that the game counted against Everton because the bet was made before the Everton game. It was Everton or remaining games in
What game? It was December, the month of December.
Yes, it was the month of December.
It was?
Yes.
Yeah, Danny and Craig.
We need to start writing these down on the board, like
yeah.
specific.
Man U over 15.5 points in December.
Yep.
Oh.
So there was a
Shit.
there was a possible 21 points. You're now gonna pick up at max.
What do I owe you? A bleach
13.
bumhole? I mean, what do I owe you?
2.
God,
6. I don't think we actually.
Bournemouth killed us. Bournemouth was the game that killed us.
Right.
Yep.
Damn.
Because I actually had us getting beat at Newcastle and Liverpool. So today would have been a pickup point.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. The Bournemouth one
the
killed
Bournemouth
ya.
one killed us,
Damn
didn't
it.
it?
Craig
Yeah.
wins another bet. I think he won a
You
few
realize
more.
I don't lose bets. I only make bets that I'm gonna win.
Your fan duels count would say otherwise, buddy.
Do you want to? Do you want to make it?
and my DraftKings.
Do you want to make it double or nothing on Villa being top on Christmas Day?
Wait, you want to make it double or nothing that United beat Villa?
Yeah. could do that.
Would you like to make it double or nothing? The Villa go into to Old Trafford and then we lose to you?
What are we doubling? What are the nothing?
Actually, the funny thing is, we never actually. We said we were gonna pick something off air that we were gonna bet, and we never did.
No.
We'll just have to make it a 6-pack.
I told him that.
Even though I just bought you a bottle of Tito's today.
Doesn't he still owe us a steak dinner? That guy.
He does.
Yeah, I brought Wendy's the other day.
You did. That's true.
Yeah, Wendy's.
Yeah, that's true.
I told Nate that he could have you for one night. That'd be a trade off on the bet.
Can we just
Sounds
talk?
fair.
Can we just talk soccer at Novi East and watch you play,
Oh, that sounds like a great idea. You guys can come
and then go to Gatsby's
yes.
afterwards?
You guys can
That's
come
the
drink
night.
beers and watch me play. That's the bet.
That's the night. That's the Craig Hurd Nate Daniels date.
If Scott Emmert is still watching, he definitely will not be there
Hold on.
because he despises the teams I play on now.
the Craig Hurd Nate Daniels date consists of Nate watching Craig play 7-a-side at Novi East.
Watch him
Craig-
walk. You watch him walk around for a little bit.
While Craig takes his shirt off, tries to give it to somebody else. Me heckling him and the whole other team he's playing just for fun because I'm not playing. I won't get kicked. So I'm just heckling.
So you're heckling them
constantly.
and me. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I don't get
everybody.
kicked. You guys get the brunt end, and then we go to Gatsby's for drinks afterwards.
That sounds like
It's a dream night.
fabulous night.
Love it.
Yeah.
Can we play
Before,
putt-putt?
huh?
Can we go play putt-putt one night?
No.
The next you'll be
You guys
asking
ruin
for
all the
lacrosse. All right, Nate. You know what? Here's something funny actually.
Haha.
You mentioned earlier that wouldn't it be great if Stuttgart and Villa got put into the same Champions League
Stuttgart
group?
got shit on today, didn't they?
Well, we're not going there yet. Starting next season, the Champions League will be a Swiss-style format. 36 teams, Champions League. 36 teams will compete in one big league group. Each team will play 8 matches against 8 different opponents. The top 8 in the league will automatically qualify for the knockout stages. The teams that finish 9 through 24th will compete in playoffs, with 8 winners making up the remaining spots of the round of 16.
So I'm gonna be flat
many
on
teams are in it
hold
now?
on. I'm gonna be flat on honest. This is my second vodka soda for tonight,
Yeah.
and I have no idea what you just said.
Yeah, no one does
I
because
have
it's
no idea how that
How many
works
teams are in
out.
the Champions League now? 24.
Yes, because they're adding more. So I believe you're right, but there are A, B, C, D, E.
32.
So they're adding 4 more teams. That's it.
I'm pretty sure there's
Because
32, and then it
because
goes down to 16.
2 from each one get through, and then there's a possible third that can get through. So I think there is actually still 28 right now. But there's a potential that
No, there's 32, right? So there's
32.
It's 8 groups of 2, 16 go through.
Yeah, you're right.
So 32. So they're extending it by 4 teams.
Yep.
Where are they getting the 4 teams from? What leagues?
Well, there's
I
a
would hope-
potential that whoever finishes 5th in the Premiership could get in there.
I'd hope it'd be the one team for the Prem,
Right.
one team from La Liga,
Bundesliga and Serie A.
Serie A.
Don't say the French league, please.
Say the French league.
And honestly, I'm indifferent on the Bundesliga. I'd say maybe 2 teams from the Prem. I'm being dead
No,
serious.
there's-
No,
no,
I'm
the-
being dead serious. I saw what Union Berlin put
could
out
say,
there, and it was
you
not
could,
good.
You could say that, but it's already it hasn't been decided yet. It depends. There's some
for next season.
yeah
Oh, wow.
next season. So there's not going to be group stages. It's just going to be random games.
Yeah, they're all in one big pot. I like that.
What
I like that.
the hell is wrong with you?
I'm sick of all this. I'm sick of
I
all
don't
this
mind that,
traditional
actually.
group stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I don't mind
I
that.
want to see. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't mind that because
You
it
don't
go-
count anymore.
I don't
Why?
mind that because it's because even though like a couple of years ago when there was that big snafu about them creating the Super League and they wanted
Yeah.
to take 30 teams into this or 20 teams into the Super League and play
Franchise. bullshit,
franchise
yeah.
bullshit and all that sort of stuff. I actually don't mind that because
It's more of league.
it's more of a league play, right? It's a Champions. Well, they call it Champions League. It's not really. It's the Champions League group stages. It's more of a league format, right? So you've got 32 teams
Yeah.
competing in a league, and it's random selected 8 games, right?
random.
Yeah, randomly
Random.
selected 8
Yeah.
games, right? So
What happens if you get selected against the worst, absolute 8 worst teams? Just great luck. I mean, I like the way it's set up now because you've got an A team, a B team, and then 2 teams that aren't as strong but got in.
And then you got
Yeah, traditional. Forget it.
yeah, it's
Come on.
tradition.
Forget tradition.
I don't know.
I don't mind it. I think change is sometimes good. And when they changed it from the European Cup, which a lot of us old people still call it the European Cup, and
Yes,
they changed
sir.
it into the Champions League, I actually thought it was a great format. When they changed from home and away goals to total legged, I hated it.
I don't like that.
because I like
home and away.
home and away games and goals.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with this.
Interesting. I didn't know this as well. John Kapler comes in and says there's no drop down into the Europa League either.
No, yeah, that happens now, but it's not going to happen
That's a
anymore.
shame.
Yeah, that's not a shame.
So how do teams outside get in, winning your league and doing well in league?
What do you mean? How do teams outside?
So
Where
say
you
if
finish
you're-
in your league.
It's all about where you
Yeah.
finish in league.
yeah, it's
then.
all about where you finish in
Okay.
the league.
Europa
prior,
League will probably get a spot. I would have thought Europa League winners like they do now.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Maybe it's now first and second in Europa League.
Yeah,
Get one of those.
I think they
spots.
deserve that. Yeah.
I think first and second in the Europa League would be better than a Bundesliga team.
yeah, maybe.
I
don't know.
I fear. I know a Premier League team will do well. I think a La Liga and Serie A team will do well. Honestly, and I'm not trying to bash my own league, but I just look how Union Berlin just really laid an egg out there. They didn't belong in there at all.
Well, we need to do a little
Neither
bit
did
more
United, mate.
research on it.
Yeah, well,
this
no.
is true. We need to do a little bit more research on there. Why don't we jump into the Bundesliga? I do want to start out with. Listen, Harry Kane is now 20 goals for the Bundesliga.
Young,
Bundesliga. Yes,
Up and coming,
young, up and coming, English guy. Unfounded. Yeah.
fully
Wait, wait,
developed Harry Kane for your English national team. He's done nothing until he's gone to the
This is
Bundesliga.
very true.
By the way, I saw a tweet I wanted to just read through. Luis Miguel Echegaray tweeted out. He said, Jude Bellingham with his 17th league goal and Harry Kane has 20.
Yep.
There's trouble winners all over in a combo of young/experience. Some are better and still don't even make the squad. England has all the ingredients to win the Euros, and it should. The main obstacle, England itself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always England itself. By the way, Lewis is a huge Villa fan.
I'm finally glad.
Massive Villa fan.
Finally glad that England finally has a good national team out there, because never before in the past have they had
Never,
good
yes,
players.
never before
Never
they had
before.
one of the
Yeah.
best
Ever.
teams in there.
England should win Euros. I mean, I don't want to change topics, but England should win Euros. It's another.
They have to be the favorites. Have to be.
Yes, they should.
But
They
except
should have
for-
won it several times over.
Yes, this is true. All right, let's jump into the Bundesliga
We don't have any
results.
farmers, though. That's the problem.
Let's jump into Bundesliga results. More on Friday, Borussia Mönchengladbach 2, Werder Bremen 2. Yeah, great. Now let's get into the real meat and potatoes.
I'm massively impressed by your pronunciation.
Am I not the guy who pronounces things
Borussia
correctly?
Mönchengladbach
No, wow. It makes me bad for saying it. Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
or Montreal.
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 Anthony Montreal. All right, go on.
Montreal. Augsburg
Harrogate
1, Borussia Dortmund 1. Nate, he's got to be fired, right?
He's not going to be, apparently.
How is he not going to be fired?
don't
Because
know.
he's made Champions League qualification. That's why.
But they did. This was the same thing with Nagelsmann, where you look at his form over all the competitions, which they're out of the Pokal. They've dropped really far, and they're only doing good in one spot. And it was the same thing as Nagelsmann. They let him go because they just said, we don't believe in how good he's doing. I can only think that they don't have a plan B. Like, who's out there? Like, who are you going to get?
I have no idea. I mean,
Jesse Marsh. No, I'm just kidding.
Jesse Marsh to Dortmund.
Tights pants, watch again.
I mean,
Yeah.
but there is some. I mean, you don't have. Usually, they look to interleague, and no one's fired anyone of worth. So who else?
Worth.
But yeah, who else are you gonna get? You're gonna get the old Union Berlin coach. I mean, he was.
I feel like
really
most
bad.
German teams like people that have been in the league.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They
So-
don't like outsiders.
exactly. So
Yeah.
you don't have anyone of
Right.
massive worth that's just floating
Yeah.
around. So
well,
Jurgen Klinsmann?
Tadic continues on.
yeah,
I mean,
that's what
it's-
they're saying.
it's
I mean,
not
that could all
good.
change. That could all change. But as of right now, they're saying he's going to survive the winter break. But they are not performing to the talent level of that team.
Absolutely, they are not. I mean, if
even
you think
close.
about it, that team was on the precipice of winning the Bundesliga last year. They ished the bed on the final day to hand it to Borussia, to Bayern Munich, and now they can't seem to put a win
And
together.
then they pulled in Fulkrug,
right?
who was the leading goal scorer last year in the
Division
league.
Two. Yeah.
You know, in the league, in this league.
Yep.
Oh,
He hasn't
Fulcrum.
done well.
And well, so you got to ask yourself why. You went from a team that wasn't that great, and you're a leading goal scorer in the league, and it earned you national team callouts, which he's still using and actually scoring for the national team.
Yeah.
And then you go to a better team, and then all of a sudden you're dry, right? And I get it. They lost Jude Bellingham, and obviously he's a talent. You know, you can see that in other areas, but it's
Play consistently.
they didn't lose much of their team, and it's disappointing the way they're playing for some, but for other hopefuls,
It's great to see them play
Great.
like that, right?
The
All right,
Stuttgartian over here.
onwards.
Hey.
Mainz 0, FC Heidenheim 1, SV Darmstadt 0,
You know who played
Wolfsburg 1. Yes.
before you go on? Know who played a full 90 for that Heidenheim team?
Oh no, tell me, please.
An American,
Ooh.
Molney.
Oh, yeah, Maloney, yeah.
Yep, he's playing full
Played
90s.
the full 90. Good. That's
Yep.
what we like to hear.
Mhm.
All right.
He's in the January camp.
He
Oh,
should
yeah,
be,
he
and he
should
should
be.
be, and he should be,
He's the whole month off, so.
and he should be a starter.
Let's talk Stuttgart.
Stuttgart.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get
Get
there,
there.
my friend. Bochum 3,
Building up the
Union
intensity.
Berlin 0,
Yeah, they're awful.
Leipzig 3,
Leipzig.
Hoffenheim 1.
And again, Xavi Simmons just kicking on, and Forsberg, newly New York Red
I
Bulls
say
forward,
RB&Y.
Yes.
scored a hell of a goal on his last home game because he only has 2 more games left, and that was his last home game in Red Bulls Arena, and he
Nice.
netted one before he
Now he's-
ships off to
Now he's off to the MLS, where he can learn the new rules and not play in the U.S.
To
World
be
Cup.
Messi and friends.
where he's going to the new New York Bundesliga Bulls to take on the inner Barcelona whatever
Miami. Okay.
Miami.
All right. On to the Sunday games in the Bundesliga. Freiburg 2, Cologne 0.
Nobody cares. Move on.
Nobody cares. Bayer Leverkusen 3. Eintracht.
So let's
Frankfurt
hold on this one.
0.
for-
Oh, we
for-
do want
for
to.
half
Oh,
a second.
we're gonna talk about this one.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you want to.
Yeah.
Because
we do.
this
Xabi Alonso is a
Ja-
magical genius.
And he has not lost.
lost a single
not lost.
game. He has not lost a
Next Pep.
single game. He is. I think he's better than Pep, if you ask me, because
All right.
he's doing a lot with half of what Pep.
He's got better hair than Pep.
But Pep has always had a rock star of a team when he's walked in.
Correct.
He has never took.
He's
over
never
a
had
team.
crap and made it better.
Right, and that's what
Yes.
he's doing here. And you look at for Mopeng, you work at Verts, you work at Boniface, you look at Grimaldo, and you guys are going. I don't know. I know maybe one of those guys. The rest are you're speaking gibberish.
Boniface.
Yeah, all those guys, young players, decent players. They're in the top 20 for goals and assists.
Wow.
The team is rocking in the league, and I hope they continue form. I hope they continue. I hope he wins massive trophies. Goes to Madrid and continue it on because he is doing awesome, wonderful work for that team right there. Unfortunately, they couldn't beat my Stuttgart midweek. However,
Yeah.
they
They
tied
can
'em.
win Champions League.
It was a draw.
Leverkusen.
They are not in.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
They'll be in
Yeah.
the Europa.
Southern Europa, yeah.
I think they could.
Better than with my Seagulls.
I could see a Europa final, which would be really interesting, of Liverpool versus Leverkusen.
Yeah.
That would be a
It'd be neat.
phenomenal game.
And
to
I would.
watch.
That's,
Oh my
that's,
word.
I would watch that one.
That's the final
Oh
that
my
I think
word.
that I think everyone would hope for because you could potentially have 2 top 4 teams.
I mean, 2 informed teams, 2
well, I'm going to
best
say
teams
top,
in the
I'm
world.
going to say top 4 within league. Who knows if Liverpool is going to be number 1 at the time or Leverkusen? But I would expect both of them, based on their current form, to be in the top 4 of their respective leagues.
Absolutely.
So you have 2 top 4 teams in those leagues playing each other. It'd be a great final.
Absolutely. would.
Interesting comment from Johnny Crum. Xabi Alonso, next Liverpool coach.
Nope.
No.
And he's going Madrid.
Well, now there's rumors
What about
that
if Klopp goes to Madrid?
there's rumors that Ancelotti isn't interested. He's actually
Oh.
sh-
Same with Brazil?
he's saying
Gonna go
goodbye. I
straight.
don't want to do Brazil anymore.
Oh.
That's the rumor I read yesterday. So
Hmm.
we'll see. Lots of situations could happen. All right, other game that happened today: Harry Kane, 2 goals, gets to 20 on the season in the Bundesliga. Bayern Munich 3, Stuttgart 0. Nate, this game it could have been a lot worse than 3-0. There was a couple of offsides calls.
You had
that
2 very close
marginal.
offsides.
Yeah, and this could have been a lot worse than
Well.
3-0. But hey,
You're playing Munich at home.
yep.
They're a better team. Is what it is.
Is what it
You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. I looked at that game and went, oh, yeah, they're losing. It is what it is. I think Kane's first goal was in, like, 2 minutes. Bad turnover.
Yes, it was.
And
They
just slammed it home, and then he had a nice crossing goal. So
Yeah, Stuttgart looked like they were their own worst enemy today. The way they're giving
And,
the ball
I mean,
away and not closing down.
they kind of competed. I mean, it's hard to say that, okay, hey, you competed and it's 3-0, but they actually had possession. They had 63% of the possession. They just weren't very good in the final third, right? And because they got beat out by a better team, but they went at Munich. And they said, hey, we're gonna. It looked like it. Like, we're not gonna just hold here and try to get a point. We're gonna actually try to win. And the result was
credit to him for going at it.
It's
Yeah.
wonderful to see a Premier League developed player kicking it in the Bundesliga.
yeah.
It's wonderful to see.
He's an old man in the Premiership. What are you talking about?
Well, a wonderfully developed player in the Premiership,
Yeah,
kicking it in the Bundesliga.
Finally, he can use his talents for a team where he might win.
Well, let's not let's not go down that path, because the guy did win countless golden boots in the Premier League.
No,
Yeah, but
in
he
the
never-
secondary league.
He never won a trophy though.
Did you call the Premiership a secondary league?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I think
Onwards.
that T-shirt's a little bit too tight there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
restricting blood flow to your head, my friend.
They don't
Uh,
farm there, so that means they're
They
not
don't know how
good.
to grow those beets.
Correct.
Yeah, something like that.
We're gonna shift to Shadow Gursey.
Oh my word. Yeah. So,
My
gotta say, there is rumors that Manchester United are keeping tabs on him. And as I said, guys,
What? Hold on a second. Can you just back that shit up just for a second?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Keeping tabs on him. The guy's got like a 20 million euro fucking release clause in there. How much more can you keep tabs on the guy? He's scoring a shit ton of goals in the Bundesliga, and we're not scoring any goals. Go and fucking buy the guy.
So
I was gonna say,
Keeping
I think
tabs on
every
what?
every
The guy's
club,
scoring goals in the Bundesliga. Go buy him.
Every club.
So, hold on.
Tabs on him.
And before everyone goes, is the Bundesliga not that good?
That's what I was.
I'm
that's
not saying
exactly
that.
how I was gonna say. That's how I was gonna say
Okay,
right
let's
there. Yeah.
let's compare him to the Golden Boot winner, Harry Kane, in the same league. Okay, Harry Kane has 20 goals. Glisser has 16, so he's 4 goals behind a former Golden Boot winner within the Premier League. Here's the difference, though. I think we can all agree in this room and across the world and everyone listening that Munich might have just slightly better team than Stuttgart. And so you're 4
I
goals
disagree
behind.
with you wholeheartedly. I do.
All right, my bad. You're 4
You're
goals
wrong.
behind a guy on a lesser team. Here's the important part. Goals per 45 minutes. Glisser actually has more goals per 45
And Kane?
than Kane. So, lesser team scoring more goals per minutes, if you will, in the same league. Now, you never know how it's going to work in the Premier League.
Right.
You never know going over. But if you need any type of statistical barometer of, hey, he might actually be good elsewhere, that's it. The only
I had a
question,
great stat. I had a great quote from Roy Keane today.
What was it?
He went, "We sit here talking about stats. Who gives a shit about stats? The only stat we care about is how many times you put the ball in the back of the net.
16.
I mean,
20.
just how many points you win,
Exactly.
how many games you win.
Right.
3 points or nothing.
So the only question is why is that? I've never seen a release clause. I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen a release clause that low in the top 4. And the only thing I can think of is there's 1 or 2 reasons. One, he was like, hey, I want to go somewhere else, and I believe in myself, so we'll put that in. Or, hey, you guys have been perpetually in the bottom 3. I don't want to get stuck here going to League 2.
That's
So
possible.
I want to out.
It's
possible.
probably the latter there.
If that's the case and he's happy, then I don't know if he's going to go anywhere. Maybe
Well,
he might
okay.
go, I don't want to go anywhere.
So
Or is it the latter? Nobody, I don't know.
no,
Like,
but I'm going to give you a scenario, right? So 20 million is nothing. That's chump change to
I
all
think-
every Premiership team is 20 million is chump change,
I
right?
think on a weekend you fill your stadium with more pies spending 20 million
Right.
than you do. Yeah.
So if he thinks, yeah, I'm happy here, but I'm in a rich vein of form, this might not happen again. And let's just say Chelsea come with 20 million, Manchester City come with 30 million. Man United come with 40 million.
Brighton.
And another team, Brighton, comes with 50 million. Yeah, throw them in there for you.
Of course.
He's
United-
gone.
United-
He's gone.
United ain't coming with 40 million.
No, but you
If
see
he's-
what I'm going,
if
right?
He's got a 20 million release clause. United come with 10 million Harry Maguire.
Well, here's the thing, right? That's just the minimum. That's
Oh,
the
geez.
20 million is the minimum. Teams are going to bid above and beyond this if they want him. But Nate, as you said, this is his first time really doing this. He hasn't exactly set the world on fire in prior campaigns because this is just not a fluke, but there's a reason that there's a 20 million euro release clause.
I will also say he came over last year in the league, was playing for Reigns, always had some type of injuries issues, and he was really good. And that's why Stuttgart re-signed him, and that was their priority signing for the year. They let 2 other guys go so they could sign him, Endo and Sosa, in order to get him. And I think he's paid off. And they were fine with entering that release clause in just to get him, and then went off and got Undave from Brighton.
Well,
and that's their backup in case this goes belly up. So again, it just boils down to like, what was the reason for that clause?
Well, it's the same reason that Erling Haaland was at Borussia Dortmund, right? 65 million? That's nothing.
there was-
should have been way more, but he wanted it set low, so he had the choice of where to
There
go.
was Premier League teams interested in him, apparently. Now, they could have been Lorraine. They could have been just not that good. And he might have said, I don't really want to go play for them. But there was, before he signed for Stuttgart, Premier League teams interested in him and wanting to sign him. He chose Stuttgart over them, but with an asterisk of, I have a really easy out here.
Yeah.
I think we have other needs. To be honest with you,
He ain't going to United, guys. I
think we have-
apologize. There
I
are
think we have
clubs
a-
above you who will bid for him.
I think we have other needs. And to be honest with you, if United had the balls to do it, I'd bring back Mason Greenwood off loan.
Really?
I mean,
I'd bring him back.
I'd bring him back in a
Wow.
heartbeat, scoring goals for fun in
Getafe.
Getafe and playing
Yeah,
really
he is
well.
scoring a lot
I
of goals,
mean,
by the way.
You know, so I mean, he scored an absolute scorcher a couple of weekends ago.
Has
Easy in an
has the
unathletic
situation
Spanish
not
league.
gone past where the women's group, the women's team, and all the rights groups and all
So-
the protests, has it time elapsed now?
So hold on. Here's and everyone can throw tomatoes at me. Fine,
If
whatever.
I had one, I would, and I don't even know what you've said yet.
Go for it. Here's my thing.
I don't want to.
We used to have a society of innocent until proven guilty, right? Right? Correct?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, fair enough.
Right?
Well, I don't know if we used to have that. I mean,
We used to. He was found guilty in the court of public opinion. He was found innocent in the actual court. The woman in question, who,
now
obviously
is
had
his
issues-
girlfriend again.
Now, not only is his girlfriend, I believe they're
Mother
married.
to-
Are they
the
married?
mother-
Married, and she's the mother of his child.
And moved to him with Italy? to Italy?
No,
So-
Spain.
or
The-
Spain, sorry.
The problem is the pictures that she posted online and said that he did that, right? Like 50
Okay.
years ago, we never would have seen those pictures and those videos of her saying that. So there's a
There's
little
still,
bit of a
there's still no clarity around that.
No, I don't want to
And
get.
everything
I don't
was
want to get.
dropped.
I don't want to get into it. Really, I don't want to get into it.
So
really.
how can you continue penalizing someone for, I don't
No,
want to
no.
say nothing, but for something that he was never charged
He was
for?
never actually, charged and found guilty.
And I always
no,
think-
I agree. I 100%.
And I'm
agree.
sorry, there are probably athletes that are more of a piece of shit than this guy that you've never even heard of because nothing's ever gone to court. So I'm not trying I'm not trying to make this guy sound like a saint. I don't know him. I don't care. All I'm just saying is, what was he convicted of? Nothing. Okay, where's the girl that filed the charges? Oh, married. Okay, what are we talking about now then?
I'm not putting myself out there with that, but understood.
Put me out there. I mean,
No,
but
you
I'm
know,
not saying any of that stuff is right. I'm not. I'm just saying I don't know what to tell you because
I would definitely go and get Garisse over Mason Greenwood. I would, if I were Man United, you should be bidding right now for him. No,
Yeah.
Garisse's
they're
banging the ball in
monitoring the
the back of the net.
situation.
I
They're
don't know.
monitoring the situation.
So is every team, though, right? I
United
mean,
have a history of going and getting players in loan in January. I don't think they'll, and
No,
this
you're right.
all this sales crap, and all
Wait,
that sort of stuff.
what's Wout Weghorst doing? Is he available again?
I think he scored.
He scored
Scoring
goals?
goals for fun right now as well.
Is he in the Eredivisie?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think he's in the Eredivisie.
yeah, he's
That's
scoring
where he
goals
needs to
for
be,
fun.
though.
Dog Waiters? No, he's not. He's playing for Hoffenheim.
Oh, he is.
And he scored like 2 weeks ago.
Right. It's better than Eredivisie.
Yeah.
I mean,
Playing with American
I
legend
mean-
John Brooks.
I mean, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway,
Anywho, well, that was a fun segment. Well, hold on. We're not done yet. I do want to put up the Bundesliga table. Let's take a quick look. Bayer Leverkusen, 15 games played, no losses. 12 wins, 3 draws, plus 30 goal difference. 39 points, Bayer Leverkusen. You beauties. Bayern Munich, 4 points behind, 1 game out as well. RB Leipzig on 3rd, and then Nate's Stuttgart dropped to 4th on 31 points. Borussia Dortmund still holding strong on 26, but essentially it's gone. See ya. I think top 4 will finish where they are. Borussia Dortmund are going to have to turn it around. After 15 games, 7 wins, 5 draws, 3 losses. And the American over there hasn't exactly been getting much time.
Nope.
Claudio Reyna?
Gio?
Claudio, the dad? Is he not playing anymore? No? Yeah, Gio.
Where did
Gio,
that come from?
yeah, Gio's not getting much time. He's got to find someone new.
He's got to go somewhere else to find
Got to
playing
find
time.
somewhere. Absolutely got to find someone new.
Yep.
Down at the bottom, Darmstadt, Mainz, Cologne, and Union Berlin find themselves in 15th. 10 points, man. 14 games, 3 wins, 10 losses. Jeez, man. What the F happened? Last year was a pretty good year. They seem to have really fallen off. Let's put up the La Liga table while we're talking about tables. Real Madrid, being pulled up by Jude Bellingham, regain the top spot only by a point, and Girona fall to second, who have a game in hand on 41 points. Barcelona slipping. Xavi seems to be losing it over there a little bit. But Barcelona third, 17 games into the season, 10 wins, 35 points. Down at the bottom, Almeria, Granada, and Celta Vigo. Sevilla pull themselves up with a win. They're on 13 points. Real Madrid, a little bit of a tailspin as David Alaba tore his ACL today. So now they're going to be looking for someone to fill that spot.
Tchouaméni can play at centre back. He did it before for the French youth teams, so he's a good fill-in for them.
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah, Tchouaméni can do it.
I haven't seen him play at the top level at center back,
He did it for the French national team, and he's done it in a couple of their Spanish Cup games.
Has he really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
He's a good player. I mean,
Oh,
Tchouaméni's a great player.
solid player, yeah.
Absolutely solid. So, but they've got Militao at the back as well. So Madrid will be fine. I think Madrid will walk that league because Girona will drop off, and Barcelona are not at the level of Real Madrid, nowhere near.
You just took the words out of my mouth that I was going to ask is, do you think Girona can keep it up, or do
They'll
they
drop off. I mean, they've
drop
done well to do what they've done so far this season. I think they'll drop off sometime in the new year, but. Madrid just keep going from strength to strength, and when you've got Bellingham firing on all cylinders at the moment, and I do watch a lot of Real Madrid. Like I said, it's my second team, right? So
Here's my fear, Danny. Today we saw a player drag himself behind Jude Bellingham's shirt, and he just kept dragging him for about 20 yards, and Bellingham kind of did this little flick to get him away, and he hit him. He brushed the guy's face, and all of a sudden the guy goes down, holding his face like he's been shot, and Bellingham getting a yellow card. And it led me to think teams are catching on to him, that this man is unstoppable. And now what do you do to players who are unstoppable? You kick them. You punch them. And I fear that he's gonna get little nicks here or there. He's going to get nicked up. Little injuries could creep in. He's playing every game, 90 minutes.
Well, they said the same.
This is going to take a toll.
They said the same thing about Ronaldo and Messi, right? And I think that
It's true.
one of the things that Sir Alex Ferguson in Ronaldo's early years when he got humped up and down Old Trafford was the fact that referees weren't protecting him.
Yeah.
But the boy, to his credit, developed thick skin, and he probably one of the most mentally strong players I've ever seen. He'd get kicked up and down a field and then come out and play for his country and score goals. So I mean. Bellingham, if he wants to be that top tier caliber player, then he's going to have to take the rough with the smooth.
No, that's a good point.
I'd say there's less of a risk in Spain with their schedule of getting injured than in England.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably
agree.
right. You're probably right. It's a less physical league, but there are people who pull the little tricks, and the dark arts go on a little bit more in the Spain in the La Liga. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to wrap us up. Next Sunday is December 24th. It is Christmas Eve. We will find a way to get some We Are Soccer to you because we always do. We will find a way. We will have some content for you. Keep your eyes open for more content coming this week. Do us a huge favor. Give us a like, a subscription. Give us a share. Give us a sub on all the platforms. We appreciate it. And a big thank you to our support team, our partners, and our sponsors. Big thank you to Soccer World. Visit them at soccerworld.net. Big thank you to Next Level Training. They are the best trainers in the country, and they reside right here in Metro Detroit. Big thank you to Dog and Pony Show Brewing. Appreciate you guys. Big thank you to the Michigan Jaguars. Wonderful club. Love everyone there. Appreciate everything you guys do. And for me and the boys, we'll see you later.
Merry